Welcome everyone, this is Evelyn. I have so much to bring you today. I have my 7-deck read on the table, I have a message of the day read, and I have a couple random reads and lots of messages back through the 18th it looks like we're starting from. So I just did a meditation for you guys. Thank you for all being here with me. I was seeing a lot of the green eye, and this actually started, it was 12:21 when I did this. I didn't realize it at the time. There was lots of green coming in, and then a lot of energy around the base, and I'd just been cutting some stubs of bamboo out from my grass. Lots of energy circling around at the root. And again, there's a lot of heat coming in, a lot of the grass is starving. There's very much that desert energy coming in, and the purpose for the heat, like a poisonous plant, its purpose amidst other plants, right, to balance the energies. Eden was coming up as, in Mesopotamia, Uma, one of the rulers was Eden, E-D-I-N, but that was coming up as the Garden of Eden, which vapor means Eden, and vapor is air and water, right, the things that we need to survive. Eden rules Uma, and Uma is also the abbreviation for Ursa Major, which is the bear. And then Yuma came up, Yuma and Yuma at the Mexican border with breath and moisture in the air. Sophia coming up here with Sophia, 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 Mother's Wisdom of Ea, and A-E, the energy of the ash, which is bright light, but also A and E and A, which is Eve and Adam and Eve. The temple and the rocket, the home and the vehicle, very much this month with Cancer, those things are coming up. And the AE, which is the ash, in Pleiadian is bright light, which is the reflection of the numbers 96, which is the 968 pod coming from the 698 pod, which is that flipping inside out through and through to the other side, corded to the 96-8 pod, which is literally the reflection of ash, which is that bright light energy. 698 pod is the way, right, to that 96. The binding, the pages brought together for the story and the tale, the path of or pertaining to, the antelope, gazelle, the wild goat, the wild bull or ox, without the X. The straight road, which is story, the straight road or the Y in the road, and then the tail, which is top dog, all E energy at the tail, the root. His story and her at the tail, the caboose, he the talking head, and she the Eeyore, the ass, or as Sophia, Sophi in human connection, reaching out. And then the phi was coming up, and 0.618 was coming up because that was June 18th that just passed, which we're starting on today. And I went back to page June 18th, and that's when I'd done the video and noted that the flame went out when I said into the desert at 33 degrees 44 to the bag, because on the map it just showed a bag, which ended up being a shopping center. But it was coming up as the bag with no name, like the horse with no name, into the desert here at Baghdad, or actually west of Baghdad in the desert. It's just underneath the Babel's shape is a dog or a wolf, and the 3344 point is literally just below the nose of the dog or wolf. And also something I stated on 618 in my notes was the horsepower up front to get kinetic in the end, which is the same thing as the horse's talking head, to get kinetic, the energy around the base of the root, and the ass, like the two-maned horse, right, with the feminine coming up in the ass and the masculine at the head. And the horsepower is coming up as to enrage, light a fire, get your ass up to get moving, which is perfect for the energies today because it's all about the knights today. We have the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Cups in the numbers today, the 25th, and today's number day adds up to the 39, which is the Knight of Cups. And then also on that page, Charlie came up, which the Olympics in Paris And when I was in Paris with my kids, we literally walked past Charlie when it had been destroyed. And it was really a weird situation because there was some kind of public demonstration that day, and the police came in, and it was very intimidating. They came in like with such force, you know, and there's a big helicopter right now hovering over the house, which is kind of vibrating the house, that energy of bigness, right? And this lineup of police with their shields came up to block the streets, and we didn't know what it was. So it was kind of scary to us. We didn't know whether we were allowed to walk past them or not. But that was the energy coming up. Going back to Paris to heal Charlie at the Olympics, that was coming up. So that was the meditation I just got for you guys. So now we're going to go back to the beginning at the 18th. There's a lot about the Middle East that's been coming up, and Egypt and the pyramids and Iraq and Mesopotamia and the two rivers. All of that stuff has been coming up constantly. I keep getting led back to do more research. And I tried to do this video the past 2 days, and it just wasn't the right energy for me to come out and do it, but today's much better. So we're going to start back at the 18th. Let's see where I am here. And all right, so the first cards that I pulled was this message here, and it was just a random pull, okay, of the SIRIAN Starseed deck and the Rider-Waite mini. And this is the page where it said, where the flame went out when I said into the desert at 33 degrees 44. And actually I got up at this, it was 10:19, as 9:13 I awoke that morning, and 10:19 is when I got up, and I got up at 10:19 again today, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the Sun. And then SIRIAN, this was the SIRIAN Starseed deck, the read I just showed you, was pulled at 6:51 to 52, which is the King and Queen of Swords and the Lovers. And make sure you go to my Instagrams too, some really significant posts. I know I always say that, but they just get more and more significant to me anyway. Today I posted a picture of my kids about innocence and guilt. Was an interesting download that came in. But again, there's a lot more information, a lot of posts. Don't just look at the picture, read the post below. There's a lot of good information there that will activate something in you, even if you don't understand it all. So we have the page I showed you in the underlying energies was the Three of Cups after the Tower in the underlying energies. And again, 6:51 to 52 is coming up as the twins in their air energy, the King of Swords and Queen of Swords. And this is back on the 18th, remember. The Three of Cups, the Wheel, the Star, the Four of Swords, the Queen of Swords, the Knight of Cups, the King of Pentacles, and the Ace of Cups came up in the underlying energy. A sudden reunion destined of atoms, which can reference Adam and Eve as well, to Egypt, to walk like an Egyptian, to sit in the water, a beach, to take a break or rest, a rest stop. And then Saint Salvira came up, which was a rest stop that Jesus was supposed to have passed away at in the south of France. To meditate, to sleep, or 5D connect, the Queen of Swords with the Knight of Cups with the King of Pentacles as one love. Lady Liberty with halo and many cracks. The Liberty Bell, she rings far and wide. The Sage with aid, spelled both ways, A-I-D and A-D-E. The Knight of Cups as Ellis, an island to themselves, stuck in the green room, as green came up this morning, circling and cycling waves as the King of Pentacles, or Master of Crystals here, Master of the Hidden House is here, the crystal skull of the living library, or perhaps a hard head. And the crystal skull came up many times since this read this week as well as a, I watched Matthias Di Stefano on somebody else's channel, VYANA I think her channel was. And she channels this beautiful music that she sings. But she had a skull in that session she did with him. She literally was doing work on him. So how do Lib, as in Liberty, and El, as in Ellis Island, get to Sphinx? Sophia's Phaeon, X marks the spot. By, as I just brought up, remember the energy of the animals, the gazelles and the wild goat and the ox without the X. And here the X marks the spot, but now moving forward, the X is no longer needed after the spot is marked. By Atlantis island hopping, going on a treasure hunt, at 7:02, which is the chariot and the high priestess, until scared straight, through the Bermuda Triangle to the shelf of no return, and straight into Gibraltar. So Gibraltar, which is G.I. brawl, tar, which is throne, the fight for the throne, the military brawl for the throne of the rock, across from E, coming up as Egypt here, who got gypped on whether Israel or not. Trunked by Iraq, as coming up as a rock, between a rock and a hard place. So what to do in dealing with three rocks, third rock from the sun, where we've only just begun. A carpenter's duet on the whispering, and I just got a big rush coming in. A carpenter's duet on the whispering bench of St. Salvira, from where we were sent. I'm getting it again, bringing golden apples to the Atlas Mountains, to see with your eyes in the ocean of emotion and the sea of Christ consciousness, what might grow beyond the Alamo. Three wise men magnetized east from Morocco. So Morocco's coming up as Mor, O-C-C-O, and all Algeria was coming up here too, where the Atlas Mountains run, all Gur in EA, or energy of Ray. More. And notice Akko, O-C-C-O, is a reflection of CO, which is doing things as a pair, right? Co, or in company. I'm just getting good company, like the song. I'm getting bad company, too. So again, OC can also be Ocean City, reflecting the CO of the two C's coming together. And again, the energy of the Gibraltar Strait and Morocco and Algeria facing Spain and Italy, and of course the Rock of Gibraltar, which is the property of UK, and then there's parts of the African coast that are parts of Spain. So there's all this kind of weaving back and forth there in the end, which is what I'm just getting now. And suddenly I felt sleepy when I was writing this here. Again, to see what might grow beyond the Alamo. Three wise men magnetized east, like the three wise men, from Morocco, and all Gur, Ia, which is ash or bright light, or the energy of Ria, or regarding A, or regarding E and A. And again, Eve and Adam, Adam and Eve, the ash and the emotional attachments, the bright light, and ash reflects 96. Literally AE is like the bow, is the same thing as 96 reflected, only 96 you would normally write bigger than the lowercase a and E, which is the 698 pod, inside out, through and through to the other side becomes the 96. So suddenly sleepy here, after mountain climbing, a rock between Iraq and Iraq. Okay, so the rock between Iraq and Iraq is the pyramid, which I'm getting now, right? Because the rock is the Rock of Gibraltar and Iraq. And so, of course, Egypt is right in between there. As long it could be an Israeli rock too, but that's what I was getting right now is the pyramids, because they keep coming up yesterday and today. So the rock between a rock and a hard place, but also that location in Iraq, which is to the west of Baghdad, Atlas and magnetized to that 3344 degrees, where Christ unity consciousness meets, or Atlas meets Hercules. Hercules is harvest, is the dog who has sniffed out the clues. And again, I told you that spot is right under the dog's nose. And then God's Selukre, I'm not sure that's how it's pronounced, or Selukre, so there's that ray again, of the, like ray of the sun, or Major Tom was coming up. And again, Seluk, the name of the god is like Tom Selleck, that was coming up. And again, the tom-tom and the little drummer boy came up yesterday. So this god, Salura, whole, and it means whole, entire, undivided, with sea or bridge in the middle. And again, here we have the Strait of Gibraltar between Spain and Africa, of Morocco or Algeria. I'm not sure exactly where the bridge comes in. But God see lucre, L-U-C-R-E, which is profit or gain, advantage, the love of expanding no matter what. God's Lucy, so lucre is coming up. God see lucre, L-U-C-R-E. God's Lucy, Ray, R-E-H. God's loose, I date, or to make bright, clear, illuminate. To shine, glitter, manifest, and be apparent. Snoopy and Lucy. So there's the dog. Snoopy's the dog sniffing out the spot. And Lucy. And of course, Lucy in the sky with diamonds and the double diamond star coming up. But also Lucy is the L of the right angle. And lambda, which is the lambda father leap. Left at the right angle. You see at the Y in the road, which is the singularity. So Charlie's got to be behind it all. Lucy is unrelenting when babysitting Snoopy, who snoops in her business, when she secretly loves Charlie but can't relinquish the upper hand. Charlie is the CH, which is HP, horsepower. So it's HPA, who's really E, a re-ally of E, of energy. The horsepower, a re-allying, a re-connection of friendship, energy. HP is the earnest money or down payment for water, something, one who energizes. Continuously, so an earnest or down payment or a continuous down payment at this point. The H point, which is one-to-one point. Again, the bridge of connecting two sides. The horsepower, here's where the horsepower up front to get kinetic in the end. So again, the two-man horse. Where in Charlie, A-R-L-I-E means anger or rage. The horsepower to enrage or light a fire, to get the ass up, to get moving. Charlie may seem quiet, but he's quite a tool to charge Lucy with Snoopy, who then takes off. In his dreams, anyway. Dreaming of Lucy in the sky with diamonds. He loves her spicy. And Lucy is, after all, everywhere, right? In the movie Lucy, I Am Everywhere. And Charlie burned, and now brown, three as one, Lucy and Charlie, and the instigator between, who gushes, is watering. And what gushes, right? Oil gushes and volcanoes gush. The instigator between, who gushes, is watery and salivates on Lucy and poops on Charlie. Again, so the mouth and the pooper. Oh, that's really funny. Because after I did this, I just watched Matthias the other day. Was it yesterday or the day before? I can't remember when it was. And he was talking about the fact that the mouth and the anus are formed before the heart, right? Because you can't put the heart in to create until you have something in which to expel that energy. So the pooper's coming up as most important. It's actually created first. So here it comes up again, is watery and salivates on Lucy and poops on Charlie. So here it's the coming out the mouth and the other end. Libra, Aquarius, and Blockhead must be Taurus, or a knucklehead, or bonehead anyway, as the solar deity with Pegasus taking off to search for mermaid, or mermaiden. made of the sea, exposing the porpoise under the real live buoy or buoy. The truth in the water must be in the water. I'm getting that song. As the water reflects us, right, because we're mostly water, something catching on with all the droplets, which comes up, droplets comes up as doctor to pay attention, and sees the day to play in the ocean and see the truth just beneath. The Two of Cups of 1 to 1 at the moon gate, June 20th, the lovers two, taking steps through July as the cards came up as 1 in the underlying energy, 19, 1, 2, 7, 8, and I'd gone into on this day for 1912. And then 78 is the end of the deck, right? It's the 10 of Pentacles, where I drew a little depiction of the sun with the cups going back and the sword going forward. The sun between two aces, love and truth. In 1912 is when the Titanic sank, and that's so funny because I just saw, I guess it must have been on Instagram. I guess it could have been online. I can't remember. That the Titanic didn't really sink. Who was it? The banker who owned the boat actually had 2 boats and sent out the boat that was disheveled as the Titanic to collect the insurance money. Very interesting. So 1912, Titanic sank. April 14th to the 15th. 14 and 15 is the angel and the devil. And 4 is that lamb to leap, right, of the lamb to the Father. And then January 3rd, 1912, the South Pacific Railroad offered to bring the Liberty Bell to Panama Pacific Exposition in San Francisco for free. Continental Drift by Alfred Wegener. So these were things coming up from on this day. And so the only things of significance that I wanted to bring up from the numbers I looked up, which was 1912 and 1278, they both came up, was the July 6, 1912 Summer Olympics, was Olympics number 5 in Stockholm, Sweden, where Jim Thorpe wins 4 of 5 events, the pentathlon gold, and was stripped in 1913, played pro baseball, because he played pro baseball, but that was reinstated in 1982. Very interesting. And on 9/11 that year, on 1912, Philadelphia's second baseman, and Water came up. I don't know if the name was Water, but again, Water, one who watts. Oh, second baseman is what? So it's been coming up as Water, the one who watts or energizes. So 9/11 was Philadelphia second baseman Eddie Collins, steals for a record of 6 bases in the Athletics, 9-7 win over Detroit Tigers, which brings up the Tigress, at Navin Field. And Woodrow Wilson was elected 28th president that year, which 28 is that 2 of Wands, or that Y in the road, or the twin flame energy. So 1278, I looked these up in Gematria. Oh, very interesting. The word leaven came up January 19, 1278. 510, Jews of England imprisoned on charges of coining. And leaven, Levant, January, Charles I crowned king of Jerusalem. He surrenders the, Vicariate of Tuscany to Nicholas III? The Vicariate, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. I'm just looking at the word Levant because that came up as part of a word that I had assessed this week. So remember that I said that from this post of 1278, and the Jews of England imprisoned on charges of coining. So in Gematria, 1912, the first entry was, "You are my best friend, baby." Number 2 was, "She thinks she's my wife." Number 3 was, "Everyone chant Emperor times 5 times." And the 4th entry was June 11th. And it said, "Lose Facebook." In 1270 up came up as 1278, at 78, I can't say that number for whatever reason. God is not forgiven cabal. We act as one mind, and I, God, looked for the sincere apology, and then holy translation of God codes. Those were the 4 entries that came up. So back to the message of the cards at 817, which is the Strength card and the Star. The suns, both ways, the sun in the sky and the daughter and sun. The sun's truth through the moon gate, going from Gemini to Cancer, 6:20 to 22, and the 7 of Cups steps to heaven, 8 cups to lay them straight and leave the beach. And then I just got bitch. I'm sorry, I wouldn't normally say that, but that's what just came up. And again, the X was coming up, so there may be something around that right now. Sign, this is like a message from the King of Cups with eyes of aqua seas, not Charlie Brown. So it's like saying, not, my eyes are not brown, they are eyes like the aqua seas, which is really funny. That's something personal came up for me regarding that as well. And that just reminded me too, I think yesterday at 12:35 the time was, I noted it because I keep getting a really bad piercing pain in my right ankle, and it's not me. I have no issues with my ankles. I mean, they get stiff sometimes, but there's no pain in my ankles. And this right ankle, I've had this sharp, severe pain, like a needle sticking into the side of your ankle. It's happened to me at least 3, if not 4 times. And I've put it down each time. So that happened again yesterday. I think that was yesterday, not the day before, but I wrote it down on my notes, so I'll probably say it again. So with not Charlie Brown, 2, surrendering to all that is, as the Page of Cups' heart opens wide to let the Emperor in, as the Emperor tosses a false left forearm, so the feminine side. And we had a lot of cups here. We had the 3 of Cups to the 1, to the 2, to the 7, to the 8 of Cups, and the King of Cups mastering here. I kind of got this swirl of the different spirals, whether it's the golden spiral or the crystal spiral, them together actually, but also the word LE, as in the, in French, 3 as 1 and 2, July and August, 3 as 1 and 2, which is usually the masculine and the feminine, July and August, which is 7 and 8, at 6:51 to 52, which is the lovers of the King of Swords and Queen of Swords, at 2702, which is also July 2nd. So I just talked about 6:18 to July 2nd is now coming up. At 8:28, which is the strength of the twins, that 2 of Wands, or Y in the road, the 3rd flame equaling lover's energy, as the 3 of Lovers, as the King of Swords and Queen of Swords, July 2nd, or for 2 months, and again July and August. The King of Cups walks away and sends his love to the Emperor, the King of Swords, Queen of Swords, and King of Pentacles, with the King of Cups, and the Emperor, but where's Waldo, which would be the King of Wands, the only one missing. And 3 kings came up the other day too, not yesterday, but the day before. So 3 kings came up on the 18th, and then again on the 23rd, which is the King of Wands. So where's the King of Wands? And late, the Page of Wands, King of Wands, and the Empress. So he's with the Empress, not with the Emperor. The 9 of Pentacles is with the Knight of Wands and the Hermit. The Queen of Pentacles with Lion's Gate and the 6 of Cups and Knight of Swords. And then the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Cups were coming up. Lover's Guidance with the Queen of Cups and the 4 of Pentacles, which comes up in this SIRIAN Starseed deck as the Knight of the Divine Masculine's heart, with sudden reunion, and the Tower of the 3 of Cups. And the 4 of Wands and 3 of Cups have come up several times in the past few weeks too. All right, so also on the night of the 18th, I went out to look up at the moon getting full. And it was about 10 o'clock at night, and there was a plane. I thought it was a plane going by, but I kept staring at it because it looked odd. It didn't look quite right. And it seemed like it was going on a path that the planes that go by, you know, they don't come to my house specifically, But you know, there's certain paths you follow in the sky, the way the planes go to the airport. Thank you. Someone just dropped something off. Teddy's dog food. Thank you. Thank you. So I was watching this plane go by, and it didn't really look like a plane because it looked like the lights were only half of the plane. It didn't look normal. And then I kept watching it, and I was seeing an aura, like a circle around this plane. Like it was masked, it was hidden, it was an invisibility cloak. It was really interesting. But that was around 10 o'clock on the 18th. I would see a tiny light around this big, because it was huge around what you would think was the plane. Also didn't always look like the plane. Sometimes it looked like the triangular shape. But I kept then seeing this big aura of like a saucer-shaped ship. And every once in a while, little twinkly lights would come up on one side or the other of this ring that I was seeing. And remember, it's 10 o'clock at night, it was dark. So back to the read here, we have the underlying energy at 11:14 to 22. Oh, we're not getting into that one. All right, so now we're on the 19th. And so I clarified the cards I just read for you, okay? So this was, again, the read from 6:51 to 52 on the 18th. I'm clarifying on the 19th, and it happened to be 6:51 a.m. because I hadn't slept. So here it's exactly the same time. Again, the lovers of the King of Swords going into the Queen of Swords. And by the way, sleeping. I didn't sleep at all one night, and then I slept like a rock. And then I didn't sleep at all one night, and then I slept like a rock. And then I didn't sleep at all one night, and then I slept like a rock last night. This was my week. So 3 nights I didn't sleep at all over this full moon. So I clarified the cards I just read to you, as there were rainbows on the living room ceiling because it was in the morning. I'm not usually up that early. As the sun comes up, and the rainbows were, I have a picture of me skydiving, and the rainbows were coming up on that picture of me skydiving. So falling out of the sky could be coming up here. The lovers upright with guidance or commitment of the Queen of Cups reversed, and the Divine Masculine's heart in the Batcave, with drama of the Three of Cups reversed in a twist of fate, with Star at rest, the Queen of Swords and Knight of Cups, and the King of Pentacles all here. The underlying energy at 6:55, which is the truth, is the Ace of Cups upright with the King of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups all upright. Only the sword of the Queen of Swords is present, not she, in the clarifiers. Her truth be told of the 5D connection, temptation of the Knight of Cups, offering to the King of Pentacles, receiving love from the Ten of Cups family of Justice and the Empress, or Libra and Taurus, but it's really coming from the Queen of Swords union with the Four of Wands, and the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community of dysfunction or loss or lack of peace, as the energies of Scorpio and Sag were definitely reversed here, but we also had Libra, Aquarius, and Aries, where Aries was upright. The Queen of Swords, Five of Wands, or the group energy here of sharing or settling out, with passionate proposal to the Queen of Cups, King of Cups, and the King of Swords, all reversed, to release anxiety post-war or release from prison to be free, with Sun at their back, losing patience with the King of Pentacles upright, as the Queen of Swords, with her truth to the group, after love to the King of Pentacles, about sharing passion with the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Cups, King of Cups, and King of Swords all reversed, a passionate settlement or offer of a project, growth, untying their hands after inner turmoil to be free at last. Or the story continued as the fool with 15 minutes and fell from grace to get up and become the King of Pentacles, saving face and exuding now love. As the sun comes out and dried up all the rain, and I was just getting cake too, as the sun comes up, striving and thriving, I forget the words, and longing for someone for whom he still burns. So going the distance, you can read the lyrics if you want, and I'm getting big connection there. The sun came out and dried up all the rain, exposing the truth that was just under the surface the whole time. The sun came out and dried up all the rain, exposing the truth of the pain that was just under the surface the whole time. The Six of Cups, innocence, connection, and again, I posted innocent versus guilty today on Instagram at 7:07 here, and the Two of Cups, soulmate connection, a need to swallow pride between them, or poor judgment at least, holding back an announcement. As the Queen of Swords offers love to the King of Pentacles, but truth be told, it's always there in 5D connection. He could also be dealing with a money pit or a dysfunctional family in need of some peace. As the Queen of Swords to the Knight of Cups, to the King of Pentacles, then receiving the Ace of Cups from the other side, from the Sun and the Ace of Swords, or exposing the truth, from her love from one side and the truth from the other at 7:11, the Six of Cups upright and the Two of Cups upright, or either side of judgment here. And again, I was just getting the Gibraltar Strait again, and Europe versus Africa. The Two of Cups upright, sunshine's truth to the Two of Cups, the devilish temptation or Capricorn waving and bringing love. The Knight of Cups upright to the Four of Pentacles upright, the divine masculine with their cards close to their chest, committed to work and or contract, Taurus, religion, or marriage. As work as the Page of Pentacles upright, the perpetual student, examining every detail. Capricorn and Taurus, clear. I want to say Taurus. Capricorn and Taurus clearly represented here. When the Queen of Swords expresses love to the King of Pentacles, or the Knight of Cups does, with the Queen of Swords behind them, the King of Pentacles lights up with love, exposing the truth of the Two of Cups, of the Devil or Capricorn behind the Knight of Cups, and Taurus closed off, working, and the Page of Pentacles, or an opportunity to make money here. The Seven of Cups is reversed, coming back down the steps and around, after coming clean, and that can just be coming down from something. Coming back down and around, after coming clean or cleaning up, stuck with holding or playing hardball with third party or bad influences, and now dumping emotional attachments and repeating steps, uncomfortable emotions in energetic exchange, and not being able to walk away. The Eight of Cups reversed, emotions all dumped, but they just can't leave, as the Page of Wands is upright with the Seven of Pentacles reversed, which could be the divine masculine's heart coming out of the E-Tower, excited to implement a plan or invest, but the King of Cups reversed with Pisces in his chart perhaps, or Pisces with Virgo in their chart, or the King of Cups reversed with a secret passion that makes him feel whole, or divine masculine or divine feminine, authentic, perhaps a neighbor or neighborhood, feeling complete, without choice, dumping a load, with clarity but no peace of mind, juggling in a balancing act or performance, or whistleblower when aroused, as the Ten of Swords is upright, ending pain or in a painful ending, or getting a massage and hanging out to see another way, or just hung out to dry, or perhaps an inversion table, with sunshine upright exposing all, the Page of Cups reversed and the Moon reversed, out of the mouths of babes, the sunrise to sunset, the Page of Cups reversed, who's vulnerable and most shy, or spoiled and entitled, or both, and the Emperor here's got it covered. And that can be his own inner child as well. Leo or Sag and Aries here, and lots of water too, as the Two of Pentacles surrenders to all that is, the Queen of Wands upright with the Nine of Wands reversed, surrendering dramatically or after a sudden event, to the Nine of Pentacles reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed, who could be two dependents with the Page of Cups reversed, or maybe they're feeling rejected here. There could be a lover or affection for Leo or pet working overtime, while the Ten of Cups upright family of justice or a judge, and the Empress or Libra and Taurus sending their love to the Queen of Wands and kids or pets, etc., as the Knight of Swords reversed and the Queen of Pentacles reversed with the Knight of Pentacles upright are leading the way forward to the Emperor, tossing them a bone. The Emperor tossing them a bone, obviously looking for money, so the Emperor thinks anyway. So again, this could be an emperor, obviously with a lot of money and power, thinks they're just coming to him because they want something. And then it was 739, which is that number again, I told you. The 739,000th day was April 9th, 2024. Like the first New Year's, 4/9, and then July 18th, and then October 26th, and then February 3rd of next year, all considered New Year's this year. The Four of Cups reversed starting over while it's slow under the radar. Perhaps their reputation needs some work while dumping emotional attachments or disillusionments with the Seven of Cups reversed to find self-satisfaction with the Nine of Cups upright, being happy with oneself. But there can be some arrogance that comes up with that card. The King of Wands is upright and present, but insecure, without the tools to deal with sad emotions or grief, disappointment, especially in the quote-unquote star or healer. Getting over heartbreak or heart issues and standing their ground, and it was the Seven of Wands energy that day, to the Hermit upright with light exploding, the light exposing the slippery slope, or warning to clear the ice, as it got pretty cold last night, as the Hermit or Virgo and the Page of Swords stepping it up to swing after turning the light on. Stressed out and clinging or recovering from near-death experience or dark night, the Queen of Swords on a quest to share her passion with the rest, like it or not, that frees them to fall and get back up even stronger than before. And again, there's that energy of the spiral, right? The spiral then falls back to then gain momentum to go even farther forward. As the underlying energy is Gemini, Taurus, and Aquarius upright, with Scorpio and Libra reversed, and Scorpio could be a bad influence in this particular situation, or drama with gossips or drinkers, all air on Taurus-Scorpio axis like overinflated tires about to pop. And I was just getting poop as well, right? So overinflated meaning they're talking a lot about themselves, getting ready to poop, or here's the tires getting ready to pop. Only the Ace of Pentacles reversed is not right side up. So the other three aces are upright, getting ready for this new beginning, preparing for a new life. When the King of Cups reversed is then able to walk away. Perhaps the Emperor with 3 to 4 watery kids, with the King of Cups, Queen of Cups, Knight of Cups, and Page of Cups. The only one that's upright was the Knight, who could be offering help to the King of Cups reversed regarding the Queen of Cups reversed, or in a split, and or the one that got away at 757, which is the Chariot and the Three of Swords. So some kind of separation here, right? The Chariot can be any kind of, when the Chariot's reversed too, it can be any kind of break up, right? Break up, break down, break in, break out, break through, and it can represent the ambulance, right? It's also got that energy of the Sphinxes on it. So now we get to the read on the table. This is my 7-deck read, which I haven't done in a while. But it is 7 decks today. And let me go ahead and throw the dice for you before I forget the die. And I'll show you, let's see here. This is the read before I put the mini deck down so you can see some of the other cards. Okay, so this is this read. And on the table it has all the mini cards. So here, we're going to roll the die, see what comes up for you guys. Okay, we have the 69, which we're in Cancer right now, which is why that's probably coming up. And then we have Mars going on here. And Mars, I think, is in Taurus right now. All right, so that's the masculine aggressive energy, being stubborn with Taurus, or having great follow through on the positive side. And then we have the 9, which is the Hermit, which is Virgo energy. So we have Mars is Aries. So we have Cancer, Aries, and Virgo. And I'm getting Aries as the North Node. And again, remember that the 698 pod turns into the 9-6 pod, which we have the 9 here, but not the 6. Right? That's when you flip inside out, through and through to the other side. Again, bridging through, building the bridge. Like, it's like literally throwing stones between the two rocks until it fills in as one unit. That's what's coming up right now as the Aries North Node in Cancer, perhaps Cancer to Virgo season, which is the end of August. We have this energy of bridging and binding together. All right, so this read. This was cut at 8:33 on the 19th. Today again is the 25th. 8:33 is the Strength card and the 33 of the Christ vibration, the 7 of Wands, standing up without getting triggered. We have the SIRIAN Starseed deck with the Rider-Waite Mini. We have the Tarot of Sexual Magic. We have the Romance Angels. We have Romance Angels. We have Universal Golden Tarot and the Gilded Tarot back there. And then we have the Numerology deck there. So the family meeting, quote unquote, came up here and wrapping things up. 8:27. And 6:24 was coming up on this day, the 19th, which was the 38, which is the Queen of Cups. And yesterday was the Queen of Cups. Today is the Knight of Cups. So we got this Wands, the Queen of Wands and Knight of Wands, and the Queen of Cups and Knight of Cups. Actually, King, Queen, and Knight all came up the past 3 days. So today is the Knights, yesterday was the Queens, the day before were the 3 Kings literally came up. So here on this day, the 24th was coming up as significant because we start with the 3 Kings that day, to the 3 Queens, to the 3 Knights, to the 3 Pages. They all go in order like that, both Wands and Cups together. So I finished clarifying this read at 9:01 that morning. We have the major arcana of just the alchemy, the alchemist card in the read, which you see up there in the present moment, and then reflection or the hermit energy was down here, and then abundance, which is the empress, is right here in the end, after the last card. There were 2 wands, 4 pentacles, 1 cup, and 3 swords, which is the 24 and the 13, the Queen of Wands, transition. But 24 is also Omega. It's the number of enlightenment. And the 13 is that transition. The Knight of Wands and the King of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords are the main players here, along with the Knight of Pentacles and Page of Pentacles. So literally this read was all people. As I just told you about all the Queens and Kings and Knights coming up these 3 days, and then tomorrow's the Pages. And then we have the 9 of Swords in the read as well, the 9 of Wands and the 9 of Pentacles, right? These three of the 9s. Let's see which one. 9. So the 9 of Cups is not present in these main cards here, okay? But the other 3 9s are. But then the 9 of Cups comes up at the end here. So you have all 4 9s, which is also the sovereign of practical life, the 9 of Pentacles, the sovereign of emotions over here at the end, which was the last 9 to come up, and then leaving behind the Swords and the Wands energy of the 9s, which is the wounded warrior and the one suffering in silence. We have double 1s and 4 9s in this read, and double 7s. So 1, 7, and 9, which 79 for me is also the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And 1, 7 is the star. So double 1s is the 11 of justice, double 7s is that 9 of Pentacles, the sovereign, and then the 4 9s is 36. And what's today's 38? So the day before the Kings started, so today's the Knights, yesterday was the Queens, the day before that, the 23rd, was the Kings, and then on the 22nd, was the 369 day, right? So it's 36 is the 10 of Wands or the Atlas energy, but it reduces to 9, so it's 369 day. So that was significant too. So it kind of set this off. And that's what it's saying here. And this was on the 19th. So we had 4 9s, 2 7s, and 2 1s, the justice of the sovereign, and building up to 4 9s, 18, 27, 36. And that's ending a cycle, right? Because we're on the 10 of Wands. That leads into the 37, which is the King of Cups, which is unconditional love, and also 3-7 is the 3 keys of alchemy, which also came up yesterday. So the code line here is all about the number 19, which is the sun, coming from 1, 9, and 9. And the messages that came up from the code line here, from all the letters in the cards that are not covered. Southeast was coming up, taking the high road, or the sea, the sap and the essence of Sophia's Eve, instead of Christmas Eve, Sophia's Eve, to see, and again, 12/24 to 6/24 is coming up, where Christmas Eve is December 24th. June 24th was coming up as Sophia's Eve, which was last night. And I slept very well last night, actually. Now I have to think about what came up last night. Seeing the key show of power, of the Ace of Cups, of exuding love. And then I was also getting the cards, all the 4 cards were coming up as 9, all 9, like all mine. Also the sudden event, Thursday, on the 20th, Eve. See Kenny, K-E-N-I, offering love and kindness. I was looking for that too, because the Andes came up, the Andes Mountains, and I was looking back to see where that came up before and I couldn't find it, but maybe I'll be able to find it now. To see K-E-N-I offer love or kindness. 9 all, like a tennis match, a tie. 08, or the Hermit, Al, 9 of Pentacles, catch, right? The sovereign catch, and Al Bundy could be coming up there. And cry stalls, as in crystals. That can represent cry stalls, but also being like Christ, right? Stalling to do the work, to awaken. Also, see Thursday came up here. The name Matthew could be coming up as well. That's been coming up a lot lately too. To see Thursday, see the holy place of offering. And Teddy's scratching his ear and he's hitting the plant. I don't know if you can hear that. See the holy place of offering, which then was coming up as the toilet, and see the key, or Kenny, which means woman, to grease, smear, or some kind of honorific, nice, kind, pretty, for male or female children, kids. Sword, fence, fire, news. But new is coming up as, knees is coming up. Knees, fire in the knees, and the fence were coming up. Authority to experience, and traditional flute of the Andes. This is what I was looking for and I couldn't find it. To touch, affect, fear, and skillfully receive love from the Hermit. All 9 of Pentacles, or Hermit, 08. So the 9 of Pentacles is the sovereign. And the Hermit's coming up as the strength here. The sovereign strength of the 9 and 8, which comes up as 98 degrees as well, right? The human temperature. I'm going to read this again, because we have the energy of Eve, which is EV and VE. VE is the holy place of offering. And here it's coming up as the toilet. Remember, we're talking about the butt and the mouth coming up here, which I wasn't prepared for that, but that's what's coming up today. And see the key, or Kenny, to smear, grease, or honor. Be nice, kind, or make pretty for male or female children, kids. With sword, which was coming up as fencing, like sword fencing, and fire, and knees, authority to experience, and traditional flute of the Andes. To touch, affect, fear, and skillfully. So I'm getting a shaman of the Andes Mountains. So the Andes were coming up because Matthias was talking about how the Himalayas were the mouth, was the the crown of the planet, where the snake's head was Turkey. And he was talking about the fangs of the head and everything. So I went back to look at the map, because I'd been looking at a map all week anyway. And the snake looks like it's come out of a crack in the earth, which is the Himalayan mountains. And then I was guided to this other site where, I think it was medium.com site, where he talked about that we have a new crown every 13,000 years. And the new crown then would be the Andes Mountains, which is South America. And if that were the case, then the head of the snake is huge, and it's only just begun coming out of the earth. And it's whereas Turkey was, you literally see it, like the turkey's head of the snake is face to face with, I don't know if that was, I forget what country it was that had the other face on it, but whatever, I don't know, it's Italy or whatever's coming up right there. But that would be Greece. Anyway, there's a face-to-face off with the snake of Turkey, and then, which is a smaller head though, compared to the head that would now be coming out of the whole continent of South America, which then faces the face of the top of Africa above the Ivory Coast. So now there's a face-off between these two continents, which was very interesting. That's why the Andes were coming up. So here is the hermit and the lion, which is kind of like the lion and the lamb, right? The one who's quiet and to themselves, and then the strength of the lion. And that's coming up in July. And then the name Seth also came up, and Ars, so, you know, the old way of saying ass. So again, the donkey's ass coming up here. But Seth Ars, the ruby, sapphire, and emerald coming up here is RSE. The ring strain energy, and again, that's pooping, right? The ring strain energy, relationships and sex education. And then the word V-E-S-E or V-E-S-E-E was coming up as the root, which means penis, kidney. So knee, kid and knee came up here as, again, seed stone to plow, open furrow with hoe, and RSER is hate or hatred. So again, one who hates or hatreds. And again, that trigger point to get things going, to light the fire. And Kenya was coming up as Kenya, but also Ninial came up like pineal, but with an N. Ninial. So instead of pineal, Nai-Kneel, which is a show of power in kneeling. Nina Luce also came up, which is nasal bone. And Nina Leah, to throw at an angle or with a spin. Word language to cry despair. To eat levant. With numerous flood, healer, physician, stone, pillar, to see, observe, spy, and snoop. So there Snoopy comes up again. At 10 a.m., a sudden event, Thursday Eve, a flash of light of E-S-E-E-K-E. And again, the capital letters M-E as in me is the way it was written for the gift to civilization back in Mesopotamia. The key woman being proposed to by the Nine of Pentacles sovereign. In a sudden event, Thursday Eve, see woman with love from Ninial. Again, the show of power in kneeling, of the woman kneeling, and the show of power in kneeling as the Nine of Pentacles. And again, that brings up the energy of Mary Magdalene oiling Jesus' feet. The Knight of Wands reverse starts this message here in the underlying energy. And today is the Knight of Wands. But here he's reversed. Actually, I'm going to pull a card from the Rider deck, see if what card comes up. See if Knight of Wands will come up, whether it's upright today or not. So below that Knight of Wands reversed is the Reflection, which is the Hermit upright, the Seven of Swords reversed, the Three of Pentacles reversed, the Seven of Cups upright, and the Six of Swords upright, which is peace at least there. All right, let's see what comes out here. All right. What is the energy associated with the Knight of Wands today? And that is the Divine Feminine's heart, actually, in the big cards. This is the Seven of Wands, perhaps reaping the rewards of their efforts, daydreaming, gardening, assessing the worth of whatever, or just daydreaming, like I said. And we have Justice here with the King of Cups reversed. And again, this could be someone who's detached from their emotions or over-emotional. And again, this could be a divorce here and a settlement. This person may not be happy here. And so what does that have to do with the Knight of Wands? Knight of Wands may be dealing with this energy, right? That could be anger coming up from the King of Pentacles reversed here. And we also have the King of Pentacles with the Page of Pentacles. And this can be boredom, but also grounding and integrating, right? They're looking at the coin here, which can represent Christ consciousness as well, but he's looking at all the details. He's not missing anything before offering a little bit of love or perhaps testing the waters with someone who may ignore them. Okay? So again, getting clear on the invite they want to present or invitation. And this could be him, could also be his child. Or this just could be an opportunity they're presenting to someone who may ignore them if they offer this love. So wanting to make sure they have something else to offer as well, right? Because they already have three, maybe they offered 3 times before, maybe they offered 3 times and they were ignored. So now this may come in and maybe this person's worrying that they'll expect at least 3 offers if they want them to respond. And then we get the Six of Cups, which is beautiful energy of innocence, which again comes up in that message I posted on Instagram today. So it looks like it works out, but not for the Queen of Wands over here, right? This could be a manipulative person. This is not a good combination. Very manipulative, fiery. This is normally someone with Gemini in their chart. This could be Virgo or Aries as well in their chart, but she's not happy about this, or she's being very manipulative in trying to, she may be offering like a new life, causing some kind of sudden event on purpose. It's not coming from a good place though, but it looks really good. And this could be trying to get their attention again of the King of Cups, right? Because here we have Scorpio energy and someone paying someone to get them to separate, or because they're heartbroken, there's some kind of sudden event or drama, blowing their top, blowing their crown, someone paying for something traumatic to happen to break somebody's heart. All right, so there's some Queen of Wands, which can be the Knight of Wands here, that can't be trusted here. And the bottom of the deck is someone who's weak, right? We have Strength, which is needing courage, needing strength. That could be just a pet, right? Who's a little bit out of control, right? Or feeling, or not feeling like muscle strength, like their normal. We have Atlas here too. Again, that 10 of Wands, which came up in the read. Atlas is right there. And then the Ace of Cups, right? Being dumped on. This is like slave labor, and being triggered by this, right? Like the Queen of Wands getting something else that they have to do. Like she's trying to delay something, but they're fine. They're just going along and doing what they have to do and coming out and seeing the positive. I don't feel like that Page of Wands is the Queen of Wands. I feel like the Page of Wands is the other energy there. And again, we have this weakness, underlying energy with the Knight of Swords. So there's Leo and air energy, also Virgo energy reversed, though, in a negative sense, with Cancer reversed and Capricorn. Look at that. And those recovering from exile, injury, and illness. All of these energies here. And actually yesterday, all of them were coming up good, or the day before, except for the air signs, which were coming up as injured. So it could be a lot of air here. And again, when they come up reversed for me, it can be the negative side of those energies, but for me it also comes up as not their sun sign or rising sign, but in their chart, Virgo, Cancer, and Leo there. So that could be energies coming out from inside their chart. And Capricorn reversed, which could be detoxing as well. Right, detoxing some kind of deception. This could be, again, manipulation here, or it could be a parent with Alzheimer's. And then this could be someone lashing out, right? This could be verbal abuse, but it also could be someone trying to hold their tongue and not say what they think. But this could be someone weak and actually lashing out here. And that could be just an old person who can't help themselves. Or it could be someone who's very manipulative and kind of dark with deception here. Someone also could be pissed off that somebody woke them up really early in the morning there. So, all right, that's enough of that as we got sidetracked there. So back to the read here with the Knight of Wands. I'm looking for... Now the Knight of Wands in this read was reversed there too, so it's coming up as that same energy. Okay, so be careful about that. When you have the Knight of Wands and or Knight of Cups, which is today's energy, upright's great. Like that could be proposals, getting things done, being really loving and kind, offering help to others. But when it's reversed energy, it's like you're two teenagers out, you know, getting into big trouble. Like that's that energy. Or, you know, two guys out on the town to have a one-night stand kind of energy. So we have the Hermit holding light and holding back messages, coming clean about issues at work, of too many options or messages or choices, synchronicities or heaven in their eyes that brings them peace, as the Knight of Wands reversed may be paralyzed by their passions, and standing up to the Queen of Wands, and they're spending, where she's coming up upright here. Maybe because she got her way. But she's coming up upright. She's over here upright. But in the cards we just pulled, she's reversed. And then we have her next to the Nine of Pentacles, which is someone who's dependent, or that could be another person who's dependent, who's more earthy. But again, there's that Ace of Cups again, and being triggered by that. That came up with, let me just see here. Yeah, so remember that Ace of Cups came up next to the Ten of Wands, which the Ten of Wands is right over there by that Knight of Wands. They're coming together with each other. So there's too many energies or options, messages or choices, synchronicities and heaven in their eyes that brings them peace. The Knight of Wands reversed, paralyzed by their passions, and standing up to the Queen of Wands. And that could be her standing up to herself as well, because they could be her. Unless she's now in that position of the Ten of Wands, having to clean up the mess because the Knight of Wands fell short of expectations. So, but the Queen of Wands definitely could be coming up here as spending too much, or there's a dependent with her that's spending too much, or maybe just spent, or powerless and dependent, or two female women, the Queen of Wands upright and the Nine of Pentacles reversed, pushed to the limit and overwhelmed or triggered, or dumping on the King of Cups, who was upright here, tempted by a heated exchange, or King of Cups and Knight of Wands reversed, female ball and chain, causing block after block or delays or temptation that's overwhelming, right? It's like her trying to manipulate, but she's coming up upright today. So something might have gotten resolved since then, but it doesn't feel like it is. But it definitely feels like there's someone here. It feels like the Queen of Wands reversed, who's trying to get in the way so they can't do what they want to do. Right? That could be even leaving a relationship, keep putting new blocks about the children in the way so it can't happen. This could be on the other side too, the masculine energy. Virgo upright, Capricorn upright, or the monk and the devil in a heated exchange under the radar. Peace out came up also, moving through the two of Swords reversed, with clarity from the Knight of Pentacles, on a secret passion, healing heartbreak, with synchronicities, discovering unknowns and withholding love and money, in need of attention and or paying the Page of Swords under the table. As the Knight of Wands is reversed with the Page of Swords upright, the Queen of Swords reversed after the Hermit digs out. Then the King of Swords is upright. The Hermit perhaps dug out the King of Swords from the trap of the Queen of Swords reversed. Now at 10:16 here, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the Tower, the ice is melting as the King of Swords rises above his imprisonment, or his self-imprisonment, taking a professional look at himself, anxious over the Queen of Swords is grieving, or an evil lying woman. There could be the good side or the evil side of this Queen of Swords energy. Right? One can just be grieving, and the other one is evil, and there could be both of them present as well. Right? Both people with air in their energy, who's been passing messages under the radar with the Knight of Wands reversed. So there could be verbal abuse with them. The Queen of Swords reversed could come up as someone who's nagging or being bitchy. Remember the Knight of Swords came up in those cards I just pulled you. She could be naggy or bitchy partner. And again, remember the bitch came up earlier in the message. Or this could be a lawyer who's a cutthroat type of lawyer. And then I got deep throat with that as well. Getting to know each other after a soulmate wedding here. This could be the one. As the Nine of Cups upright and the Knight of Pentacles upright, having that talk to then propose something healthy and friendly to another, as death becomes her, masculine female or feminine male, with sickle and bow and ready to use it, on Barbie in a basket who won't wake up, and Queen of Pentacles who won't let him touch. And again, that's, to me, it sounds like, right, a wife who won't have sex and then a daughter who won't get up in the morning kind of energy. Laying cards on the table with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, or Scorpio aiming to drop a big one on her, or come out to fix something at her place. As the Knight of Pentacles is upright with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, someone may be pleased with themselves or proud of themselves for finally ending things at 10:28. And that number came up for me, yeah, that maybe today, this morning, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the Two of Wands, the twin flames again. And then Follow Your Dreams came up here with number 85, which is the reflection of 58, the Four of Swords, which for me is grounding the union, right? Because the Four of Swords for me is that 5D connection. And then 85 is like bringing it into reality. The moon is reversed here. And again, I'm getting cake again, as the sun comes up, riding and striving and making the turns. And long, and whatever it is, for one he still burns. After the Empress reversed, the Four of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles, the Eight of Swords, the Hanging Man, Three of Wands reversed, and the Moon reversed. The Empress reversed, who may not be well or is not a nice woman, with cards close to their chest and the Page of Pentacles trapped by her. The more they struggle, the tighter it gets, looking back at deception or ship coming in early and missed it perhaps. And again, this could be like partners, like the Page of Pentacles could be coming up as being treated like a little kid by their Empress reverse spouse, or this could be a mother and child as well. Looking back at deception or ship coming in early and missed it, perhaps, with Virgo and Scorpio upright, greased lightning and grounding union with love. Taurus reversed, Pisces or Capricorn upright, and Cancer reversed on the other end. As the Knight of Wands reversed sends a message, or the Page of Swords child to the Queen of Swords reversed and the Queen of Pentacles reversed at the new moon, or really early, or these two women both were deceptive or dealing with Cancer or have Cancer in their chart here, the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles. And this was at 10:35, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the Wounded Warrior. So in the recent past here, we have the Nine of Swords reversed, stressed out or didn't sleep, nightmares or suffering in silence, or dealing with a sister who is. And the Knight of Wands reversed, reunion with friends or Atlas burden responsibilities, or the wait as another wand walks in the door from a sneaky child or Leo perhaps, hanging out on vacation, adding to their burden. At 10:39, which is the Wheel and the Knight of Cups, which is today, and there was a plane flying really low, going west, as I wrote that time down. As the Queen of Pentacles reversed in a breakup and or overwhelmed, and again, Pentacles is earth signs, so that can be Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, in a breakup and or overwhelmed or too much work, or not working out in a losing battle with the King of Cups upright here, with the Queen of Swords and Knight of Wands both reversed, or dealing with kids there, or people at work, and a lot of people here in this read. As the foundation here is the Knight of Swords reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed, they could be a bad influence on the Page of Pentacles here, who's a good student. Now the Knight of Swords reversed may be lashing out or holding their tongue, or both, or holding back an announcement or delivery while healing their heart and seeing synchronicities and or options, playing hardball and withholding their time, money, and effort, or saving for a car for a dramatic Page of Swords or child, or a kid who took a bat to the car or Batmobile, or were playing ball in the driveway, or had to rush to the scene, but the Page of Swords was just fine when they got there. So again, a dramatic child who may be, acting up to try to get attention here. At 10:46, the Page of Swords may be telling on the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords reversed, older kids. The central energy is the King of Pentacles, Capricorn perhaps, hanging with the Queen of Pentacles, reversed X, and kids on vacation perhaps, as the King of Pentacles presents the truth and being clear about performance or their balancing act, the daily stuff they have to do, or the daily grind being a pain in the ass, or ending pain over a long period of time. And again, pain in the ass is coming up as a pain to the Divine Feminine, or ending pain over a long period of time, and or painful end or massage or treatment, a toss-up, 6 of one or half dozen of another. Perhaps someone saying, the treatment might help, but I don't know if it's really helping. Might feel good at the time, or 2 treatments may be the same. They haven't really seen a big difference between the 2. A juggling fool entertaining the fans, challenged by the Ace of Cups reversed, triggering or triggered, dumped, pushed to their limit, with the 8 of Swords, anxiety, and the 6 of Cups, innocent soul tie, love or kids, as the fool is freed from a marriage, or freed by alternative belief systems, finding peace away from the Knight of Cups reversed, or jealous player or sore loser, to the Page of Wands upright, who's excited with a good outlook, like just came up in these cards that I just pulled. The Page of Wands was excited with a good outlook, or there could be sibling rivalry here. Issues at work with the 4 of Cups reversed, starting over depressed with the 10 of Pentacles reversed, or perhaps an ambulance that may have shown up, whether it's your house or somebody else in the neighborhood. At 10:55, the Wheel of Fortune and the Truth. The 10 of Wands is upright burden, with the 6 of Pentacles sharing or settling out with judgment, a decision, a wake-up call, an announcement, with the Page of Pentacles, 4 of Swords reversed, and the Hermit upright. The child awake and longing for the King of Pentacles. And this is literally like a child reaching their arms up for the King of Pentacles, not wanting the Queen of Pentacles reversed. As the Alchemy card is upright with the King of Pentacles, patient angel, uncomfortable with the emotions of the King of Wands reversed, unable to leave. As the Knight of Swords arrives to lift the High Priestess or rise above, because they're upright here, the Knight of Swords awakens the High Priestess early, or awakens them to deception. There could be Sag or Pisces or Virgo upright and Cancer reversed here. There also could be Sag and Leo upright and Libra reversed coming up here as well. At 11:07, which is justice or alignment, and the 7 of the Chariot or key. The Knight of Wands reversed and the Queen of Cups reversed, with ambulance for one in pain, or patient receiving a boost from a first responder, standing up in the sun, exposing a downward shift, or in a painful death or ending. The strength to hold the boar down, the 2 of Swords reversed, no longer refusing help. As the 10 of Cups reversed, unhappy family with the Empress reversed, and lovers out in the cold with delays and no passion there. As the home 4 of Wands with the 10 of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, of loss or burdens here, or just some kind of dysfunction, with the Queen of Cups reversed, not working out or spent settling out to make a plan or payment plan, with the Wounded Warrior reversed, surrendering, and the Five of Cups reversed, getting over their loss or regret or their depression or arrogance and the need to heal. And soon coming up here is the Knight of Pentacles upright, offering help, with the Six of Cups upright, innocent children or soulmates, twin flames, facing their fears of the Queen of Pentacles reversed, not doing well, with no options, and perhaps impatient rejection, or patient angel who's vulnerable, at home at the Four of Wands with the Three of Cups, which is union energy, with family or friends, and the Page of Pentacles awake to the Hermit at night. And that could be their own wise one within, right? The child awakening to their own wisdom. And the twin flames seeing themselves as the Page of Pentacles, laying their cards on the table. Seeker of Crystals, Page of Pentacles, right? The perpetual student. Or coming out to fix, mend, or make amends, or divine masculine coming out of the cave with issues at work, or a doctor's visit, lovers reversed in a breakup or lack of affection, and the Nine of Cups upright, who's happy with themselves, looking back and making magic, with Gemini upright and reversed, or Gemini reversed and Virgo upright, the Page of Pentacles perhaps losing what little they have on hospital bills or problems at work, healing family issues, it's safe to love, religious factors here, and very soon, honeymoon. Or honeymoon period, like a vacation. Now with the Knight of Wands reversed to the Knight of Pentacles reversed, with the King of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, and Page of Pentacles all upright between that negative energy, challenged by tears of surrender, blocked and now released, or sweating it out and giving it up. So around the twins are how they're seen as the Two of Swords reversed, completely numb, with Justice upright, so justice is fair here, of the Knight of Pentacles upright, offering help to the High Priestess reversed, or a secret passion. This can also be someone in need, needing to use their intuition, or perhaps someone needs a nurse or caregiver, or this is judgment for the plaintiff, with Libra upright, Pisces or Virgo reversed, Scorpio and Aquarius upright, out in the cold or homeless after a judgment or wake-up call, or death of a loved one, and I'm sorry if you've lost anyone, or judge with a warrant for an unholy person or sister, or Libra paying a visit as too clearly are out of it, or called 911. The Page of Pentacles made a decision, or child was very clear and unable to mend or resuscitate. I feel like this was where the child saved the day, like where the child knew what to do and the adults didn't. The block here is the Nine of Wands reversed, Wounded Warriors surrender, awaken by the Page of Pentacles, or invitation, an opportunity, or a knock on the door. With the Nine of Pentacles reversed, powerless, with the Eight of Pentacles reversed, perhaps issues at work, or in trying to get their ducks in a row or get aligned. The King of Pentacles is upright, starting over in a downturn and coming full circle, or a neighbor that's unable to sleep or stressed out. The King of Pentacles is starting again in a twist of fate, coming around the mountain or the neighborhood, unable to sleep, or a nightmare of the Two of Cups, 1-to-1, or again the energy of an emergency, 9/11, or need of attention, with the Empress and Knight of Swords both reversed, with the Ten of Cups reversed, family, and the Moon reversed, or early morn, dependent, not working, or powerless and not working out, not aligned, with the Empress reversed, Queen of Pentacles reversed, withholding from the Nine of Cups upright. Perhaps the Empress and the Knight of Swords reversed of that Ten of Cups family deceived the Emperor upright, who's now being strong. Someone sick late at night or early morn, or the Empress reversed, lashing out at the Ten of Cups reversed family, and the Emperor's being strong or taming the beast, with the number 7 coming up here of personal growth. And again, the Chariot being strong, right? Making a bold move. At 1140 is Justice of the Page of Cups, of the innocence, aligning with innocence. And 40 is the number of Ea as well, or Enki. The Hermit's upright, not passing a message or didn't get the message of issues at work with the Three of Pentacles reversed and taking the stairs, seeing things or confusion set in, moving to peace away from the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords, both reversed here, and the Page of Pentacles upright, clearly hiding and suffering in silence, or this could be a sister, maybe hiding from the King of Pentacles upright, right, which also could be a father and child, challenged by overwhelm or lack of love. The Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands reversed surrenders to be patient with the Nine of Pentacles reversed, or dependent who's powerless or overworked, as the Empress reversed and the Queen of Pentacles reversed are saving for when they're single and happy with themselves, or the Nine of Pentacles reversed and the Nine of Cups upright, with the Empress and Queen of Pentacles reversed not working and withholding between them. And that could be like the Empress, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Nine of Pentacles could be 3 generations. But the Nine of Cups is there, like holding their own. Like 3 generations of woman versus the Nine of Cups, who's happy with themselves, right? That can be the black sheep of the family too. The Knight of Wands reversed, suffering in silence, early morning, or maybe a sister's showing up in the very early in the morning, or from Cancer or deception with the Knight of Swords reversed, or a late arrival with the King of Pentacles upright, challenged by the Ace of Cups reversed, overwhelm or breakup, and being patient and balanced with the Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles, who are both upright here, clearly surrendering and powerless dependence, a big family with the King of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, and Nine of Pentacles, the Empress reversed, and the Queen of Pentacles, all showing up here. The Knight of Wands is reversed with the Knight of Swords reversed, the Nine of Swords reversed, and the Nine of Wands reversed. And then there's that Nine of Cups upright. And again, first responders late, and or family and friends powerless to help, but kids were clear and faced their fears. So again, I feel like where parents didn't know what to do or adults didn't know what to do, the child did. And they were actually the one who was calm and clear in the situation. Just hit 127 on the nose, the clock, and it's 2:19 on my clock. So 127 is the Magician of the Divine Masculine and the Ace of Wands, New Passion, and the Queen's Gambit. And then 219 is the Divine Feminine and the High Priestess, or Higher Self, and the 19 of the Sun. So it's like they're bringing in the other's energies. They're swapping energies. So this read, it was very hot that day too. It's been hot. This read was all about people and without peace of mind and patience type of energy, with Nine of Swords reversed, Nine of Wands reversed, and Nine of Pentacles reversed, but Nine of Cups upright in the end, right? Finding self-satisfaction in the end. Okay. Okay, and then I posted a few things, those short videos I posted already for you. As we get to the 20th, the eagle has landed, keeps coming up over and over and over again. And Ea's progeny came up right here. Before the eagle landed, so from my animal deck, the Wild Unknown Animal cards, I'd pulled them a couple times, and it was definitely the energy. I did post the one where they were identical, except for one was the eagle landing and the other was the phoenix rising. It's like, you know, the horizontal and the vertical meeting at the intersection type of energies. But they were both clearing negative energies to get to the other side, right? So the eagle was clearing the crocodile in order to land on the earth, right, and be the gatekeeper on the earth, like the 3D gatekeeper. And then the phoenix was rising past the infections to become the hawk in the air, soaring. But then this day, on the 20th, the same kind of energy was coming up, except now it wasn't just the croc in the middle, but now it's a crock of shit, right? Now someone's trying to create all these barriers to get to the other side. Now the eagle's over all this before becomes the crow on the ground. A whole new category just opened up. The elephant's tusk and the golden egg. As the tiger stalks, the dolphins swim. As the carpenter bee grows wings, large and transformative. Or the elk births a rabbit, but is unaware. And Ellie and tiger birth a dolphin. And I want to say despair, I don't know why. And that could be a bad pair, right? Now, elephant, remember I told you that Iraq looks like an elephant's head with its trunk in that pours water onto Israel. And the Tigris River, birthing a dolphin. Iraq and Tigris birth a tusk, which then I was looking up Saudi and dolphin, but then both Iraq and Syria came up with all of their desert hot issues, of how to stay cool. A lot of people don't have a way to stay cool, and the kids are all jumping in the water over there. The bee births themselves, but will they change direction? As the crow stands guard of everything, the eagle has landed. And again, E is progeny. And again, second coming came up from my message this morning, so check them out. They're really good messages. Planting seeds as they go. The unicorns at the other gate and the airlock, the double gate, now is open to move flow. And remember I told you there's like the Gemini twin moon gate going from Gemini to Cancer into Lion's gate keeps coming up. And again, it's that energy of, I don't know if I have the picture here, but the moon gate, like the moon gates are like a horseshoe, right? But two of them, a double one. And that ends up being like the donut of the toroidal field, where if you looked at it from the top, it literally looks like the donut. So then this, I do have this one too, yeah. So I pulled some of these tea leaves here. And notice that the tea leaves are in a pyramid, right? And then there's a smaller pyramid over here. So little and big was a theme also, kept coming up that way, like the big bear, Ursa, major and minor, and then the big dog and the little dog of the Canis, major and minor. And so I'm going to get into a little bit about what came up right there. So the quill with the horseshoe, the cards that came out were the wheel, the mice, the dog who's far away, the desk, the bear, and the carrot. Good luck and getting back to basics. Perhaps rambling and indecisive, and discord in the family and friends. A distant friend thinking of you. Pay attention to your work where there's danger and money matters, and a carrot may be dangling. And again, this sounds like the person who's trying to distract them from getting to their end goal. But there also could be opportunity or windfall. Luck with a pen or pinwheel was coming up. And again, the Little and Big Dipper were coming up. The North Star Polaris is the end of the Little Dipper's handle as the flyer, and then the grounder being the Big Dipper or Big Bear. Ursa Major and Minor, Little Bear. And then Envoy was also coming up as a messenger or diplomat, but it also looked like the shape that I drew, that I was guided to draw from this, looked like the way a picture came up in the constellations of the plow. The Big and Little Dippers, and deliverance of human envy was coming up. Envoy, messenger, diplomat, end, and mat came up again there, or poetic ending. Luck with a pen, Weiss, I don't know why that came up. Wheel and mice, right? That's kind of a combination of that, but it came up for a reason. And again, the mice here reminded me of when we had a hamster who had issues from the time we got him. He was the runt of the litter, and he struggled for 6 months before he passed away. But when we took him to the vet one day, he wouldn't go in his wheel until we took him to the vet in the car. He was running like crazy in there. He loved it. But that's what it reminded me of. Luck with a pen, wheel and mice, and the dog thinking of you, of mice and men, big wheels and little wheels, my desk, bear, carrot, quills on desk, and teddy bear. The greasy wheel and teddy bear, mice between pen, wheel and dog, or mice disgruntled with dog in house. All right, so, and then Gemini was coming up too. So then I was drawing those pyramids around those cards, and they were guiding me to the constellations again to understand so again, the one that looked like the drawing was actually the dog, Canis Major. So you're trying to bring the bear and the dogs together, which is all around, right, the winter triangle and Orion. So flute flies came up too, like fruit flies, but flute flies and scales, and again being harnessed, dogs and horses or any pet being harnessed. The balance of fruit and flower and the snake in the garden or snake in the grass. And then again, craps everywhere. Or craps at the door, right? The shit dropped at the door could be coming up here. The horseshoe quill. Somebody might be using horsehair there. And then Messier 83 came up there too. And this was on the 20th, but there was an article about Kurdistan. This was Kurdistan24.net, urging, this is someone concerned in Iraq and Turkey about trying to get 9 dams built on the Tigris River to resolve the water waste. And again, they're worried about earthquakes. They want these dams built before the earthquakes. And again, I was getting that relationship to the elephant spraying Jordan and Israel, and the elephant's head being Iraq. And Iran comes up here too. And Iran's at the elephant's back. Remember, the elephant came up as their body underground as one as the arcs. The elephants as the underground arcs and the whales as the undersea arcs that have been coming up. Now in the little triangle, we had bouquet, vase, and moon. I was just getting the phases of the moon. Like a bouquet, like an arrangement of phases of the moon. The dragon beetle wind chimes, peace and harmony, marriage September, career desk, bow, high, and skull with hidden secrets that can harm you. Where Orion faces the dragon's self, which is Orion, at your front door, marriage September and or career, bow and skull. And again, this energy of the skull on the back of the head was coming up in multiple cards. Of the ash, AE, and the skull and cross bow and bones, to sit at desk with feather, pen, and plant, red bow and hair, and skull where the ponytail lies, a bridge to skull, the left side of the head. That was coming up. Big trial and little triangle. I was also getting this reference of like pets here. But again, the pets could be coming through to reference the constellations as well. Yoked the horseshoe, which is coming up as good luck, or tied down to the horseshoe, which is good luck, and going back to basics or basic training camp with quill and birds. The birds and the bees, the feather and the fly, where the bee was ill and the bird is back to basics. With the wheels of justice, scales of destiny, craps and teddy bears, gambling and lingerie, poop a bear, spokes of desk put on wheels, desk and teddy bears, and craps and carrots. And again, that can be representing as poop in the garden. So whatever that means to you, okay? The mandible or the lower jaw was also coming up. With the little triangle was coming up the empty vase and a full vase and the phases of the moon. Compliments from an admirer, a secret admirer, and changes in your life with the mandible, the lower jaw. The moon gate coming up again, 6:20 to 21, and then to 22. Solstice and full moon looking, and again, maybe you're prompted to change something about your home as well. And then on the sidebar, I had some cards: the wishbone, knots, grasshopper, and cracked cup. Where a wish is granted with unsuccessful plans, love me not. Gentle with grasshopper, with dissatisfaction of life. Pulling bone, but tied up in knots. Gentle with grasshopper, student, not to break up, or nervousness there. Now I was also getting the winter triangle is Sirius with Betelgeuse and Procyon. But I was getting a bigger triangle, like the pyramid, like the cap, the Ben on top. So they kept showing me, then bringing it all together in different ways, right? They didn't show me Ben and the pyramid really till yesterday and today. But they kept doing the big and little pyramid. And then I was getting where the winter triangle expands into Cancer and Auriga. And they're two iota stars, which was really interesting because they're like stars with no names because they weren't the most significant one in the constellation. But both from Sirius align perfectly, like from Sirius to Procyon aligns with the tail of Cancer, which is iota, right? It's a very insignificant star in the constellation. And then Sirius to Betelgeuse then connects to iota of Auriga constellation. Something about that iota or that Greek letter or that position. And then Eldam was coming up as opposed, not kingdom, but Eldam. And remember, L is the right angle, L is the lambda father energy, and the light, the L. Lambda Dom, or right angle dome. The binary logarithm base 2 of land to sea, wood, and limited, lunar distance, or laser disconnect, or laser disk. And again, the energy of a dome that's squared off, like a hexagon. Indian Union Territory, which then brings up Yuma today, which came up because there was an accident. I think I left it open on here. There was a car accident in which Cocopa, councilman killed in Yuma County crash. This is coming up just from MSN.com. COCO, and it's funny because I usually use milk in my decaf in the morning, and when I run out I use coconut milk, but my stomach doesn't necessarily resonate with coconut very well. But here, Cocopa, councilman killed in Yuma County crash. Impairment suspected, and there was a separate article about the crash, which seemed like, there were 2 drunk drivers, and then 2 people got killed, and there were 3 injured, and I believe it was the same incident. So he happened to be one of the ones that got killed. So apparently this is very sad because he was apparently very connected with, bridging our world and the American Indian world there. The Cocopa tribe is mourning the loss of Councilman Irwin Twist after the 75-year-old was killed in a car crash. So that was coming up from Yuma, which is also Uma, and UMA is the big bear. The Indian Union Territory was separate here coming up with 12 atolls in the Arabian Sea. And then all the definitions of DOM, D-O-M, or dome. Word and chord, again the logarithm base 2, and the ohm, the 2-note chord, the roof of the home, the cathedral, and again the Ben, the lambda mountain, the light on the spinning planet, and again what was coming up as the pyramid of the little triangle inside the big triangle was like the love and the light. And this is what has to do with the root of the feminine and that spinning energy at the root, because the root of the pyramid, the base structure, is what supports the flyer, right? The cap on top, the Ben. It's the love that creates the light, that supports the light. Can't have one without the other. The two bases of 3 and 5 with the lambda bridge number 4 in the middle. And again, now we're going back to Egypt and the Rock of Gibraltar. The bridge, dome, and pivot, number 6, family home or house to build, where number 6 also came up in something else, which is carbon. Light and love, lion and lamb, let, live, lay, leave, lift and like, with the plus sign, or the horizontal and the vertical pillars at the intersection of latitude and longitude, which is the net, the grid, right, where you come together at 90 degrees, the X and Y axis, the 1/4, the cone, the digamma, di lambda of the F, which is the twin flame energy, the digamma, twin flame quantum push and pull energy, the perfect complements. And then Atlas and Hercules came up here at 136 and then 144. 36 is the 10 of Wands and the 44 is the 4 of Cups, but also comes up as Atlas in numerology. And that always comes, so I get that as Hercules. It's more of a social energy, whereas the 36 is more physical, like Atlas holding the weight of the world. So now we have the grid. And so not only did the grid or the net come up as that intersection, right, where you're at your grid point, but it also came up like this in number 555, and you see that 555 together is 986, where the 698 pod comes together as the 986, binded. It's the book, where the 8 is the binding and the 9 and 6 are on either side as the pages. The L Dom, you see that I wrote that out with L, and then the D can be divine and number 4, but it's also the planet spinning on the axis. And again, that energy around the base of the human embodiment of source, and then 1V1, which is co-creation. But it's also 1V, which is 4, and then V1, which is 6, with 5 in the middle, which is freedom and change. The eldom, not the kingdom, but the eldom. Remember, El is also the name for Enlil. So again, the dark and the shadow of the brothers of Enki and Enlil. And then the 698 pod, moving into the 96 pod of bright light. All right, so then you have, I'm going to show you the pictures of these things here, right? So we have the 96 here, and then here's the 698 pod. And then here is that double twin moon gate that I was talking about too, into the 96, which is like the ash, but it reflects the ash. So the Gemini moon gate is the process of the 698 pod to the 968, and that represents September 6th as well, right? 6-9 is Gemini, June 9th. And then 9-6 is September 6th, which we talked about that period already. So that's confirming that. So, and then they're each 8, 6-9-8 and 9-6-8, which is then August, going through August. And the grid net, the twin egg cracked open. The eldom of the twin egg cracked open. The gift of the AE ash, the upside down exclamation point, which is the lowercase I of the chakra system, the bright light of the human all grown up, which then becomes the full light of the I am. The numbers 1 through 10 again come up as the O1, as the lowercase I, and then ends in 10, which is the exclamation point O. Okay, so here's the visual. O, and the first pod is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, excuse me. O1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the first pod, and then 6, 7, 8, 9 is the second pod, and then the out. You see how they reflect each other. The OI, OI, and then the exclamation point 0 in the number scale, where the 2, 3, 4, 5 is the 25/4 pod, and the 6, 7, 8, 9 is the 6, 9, 8 pod, moving from the squared to the infinite circle of the 8 into the 9-6, which reflects the ash of bright light, where the lower system is the chakra system of the human, and then the upper system is the command center of the exclamation point and commanding it so. reflecting the bright light, the chakra being the shock ray, and the command center being the calm plus, the calm man doctor, command center. CH Akra is the horsepower of sharp field soul, the cry of the raven, the monkey, the AOK atlas, fault, block, iceberg, or block of. Horsepower with the cry of the raven, sharp soul of the field, to get the monkey off your back and remove fault lines and melt the block of ice. The brown ice becomes Charlie Brown, and then Charlie Horse. Silly fool, yet free man to Brits, where CH is Charlie Horse, which equals horsepower. The fool who is free to leap with an open heart. And then they brought up this symbolism of, if you look at it one way, it's the happy face with a frown on their forehead. On the other way, it's someone's eyes up here who's got a straight face and a goatee, perhaps. Happy face with concerns, or cool guy with goatee and straight face at 2:11 a.m. Good night, Gracie. Oh, God. So then we get into my message of the day read, which was on the 21st, which was Friday. And that's this read here. So for those of you not familiar, these are the underlying energies. I usually pull 3 cards that come out. Anything extra that comes out gets put over here to finish the message. And I use these for numerology purposes as well. Okay. And the decks are Journey of Love, Nature's Whisper, the Energy deck, and the bottom one is the Shaman's deck. So first the numbers at the end, the piles at the end came out 1121 and 3221. And the messages from that came up as, nothing will be okay until I'm the only wife. And this is Gematria. What was the first one? And then number 4 came up as activate quantum fields now. Number 5 there was extraction. And H-Tojo07. H207 was coming up here too, which H remembers 1 to 1, 207. So of course I looked up 207 and the first entry is Charles, as in Charlie Brown. This, shit, heater, midnight, pineal gland, and American Eagle all came up under 207. Under 112 came up Libra, book, rigged, flare, sick. 221 was Nicholas, school, Rosa, and Andreas. Number 10 was the Phillies as well. And the Magician Divine Masculine. Journeys around the world. At 858, the which is the Strength card, and then the 4 of Swords. The Justice of the Divine Feminine and Masculine's journey around the world. The underlying energy of the 51 of the King of Swords and Dream a Little, 31 of Be Spontaneous, 50 of the Angel of Strength, and 61 of the Whale Song. The King of Swords Dream, Be Spontaneous and Reach Out to Others. The 10 of Cups, Angel of Strength and Lion, Taking a Risk as 61, and the Whale in the Portal resonating. The Sea Arcs and the Bermuda Triangle, as the King of Swords is on a quest of emotional fulfillment and unafraid to take risks now. At 9:08, which could be September 8th as well, which is the Hermit and Strength, the underlying energy of the 24 of the Queen of Wands and Omega, and the space between words, the Queen of Wands, Omega, and the 56, 2 of Swords, the Dance of the Planets, and that card always comes up as Paul and Linda McCartney walking through the record of the cyclone. The 54 of the Earth Angel, the Page of Swords, pulling off the blankets, and the Queen of Swords, the Ancient Ones, to let the light in, pulling down the curtains. As 24 is also the Q4, which is the Q of conception, and 4 of the Lambda leap out of conception, and space, or right, the Lamb to Father, reaching out after the child leaps into the feminine. The Lamb then leaps out through the masculine. And space came up here, again, with this energy of a top spinning, right, with the axis and the wheel. With 250 to 360 degrees, the 25 to 360 degrees was coming up as conception and then leaping out in space mid-tree singularity, a supported quarter and a revolution, and again going around and around, revolution. The Knight of Wands with Atlas revolution, a quarterback evolution, knowing and quiet, keeping energy clear. The Page of Swords and Queen of Swords prepare in different ways. Blanket off, bed, and other new shower. A message to collective to cool down a bit. For number 8, Yin Yang Lover, and August perhaps, or the Queen of Wands bending over backwards to get the quartz back, or clear infiltration. For the King of Swords to be able to dream a little. Leo the strength between the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords. The message clear. And that also came up with the child, remember, that may have helped in the situation. And then the first card was the 19 of Shakti. As the CH Akra that came up yesterday, the horsepower, and some shock source, son of the divine feminine. The 62 of the 8 of Swords, the choice to imprison or not to imprison. In the vortex at 921, the Hermit and the World. In the vortex, pushing the swords out. The Shokure clearing. The Shak Ura, so literally Shokure is coming up as chakra. Shak Ure, Shakti, keeping the vortex clear with multicolor therapy red and greenish blue. The choice is yours. Years. What does your heart say behind Babam? And Eve and Lynn. So Evelyn was coming up as Eve and Lynn, which is the heartbeat. The even, and then the leap up to the waterfall, which is definitions of Lynn. Even lion, ever lyran, rise up in waterfall in a zeta wave that's very tall, like your heartbeat. The 67 of the Swan and the Knight of Pentacles, loyal, humble servant, and a very good year for gyms and DMs. The 17 of Star, her grace, and 37, the King of Cups, fire and ice, and the 42, the blood dance. She shines her grace, he with hot and cold therapy, or alternative therapy, as unconditional love, and one-to-one blood dance, getting all relaxed and then playing with fire. And Isis, or I-sis, or is, one-to-one, encouraging the blood flow in the heart. Now, inspire, fire. And then I was getting the song, there's a, I forget what, the song is called Twin Flames, but I forget the name of the group, but it's like, she's singing very like intensely and sexily, fire, but it was coming up as that song right here. Now inspire to fire, as she cools with grace and possesses the torch to heat things up and warm the heart. He art, here T, the top dog, the singularity, right? The T is the circle with the dot in the middle, if you look at it, the tree from top down. Or 2, 2. Two people. The underlying energy at 933 is the 11 of making a decision, of descent and the fertile crescent, the sun and the moon. The 47 of laughter, of little male avatars stomping in the clouds, causing a bit of thunder and laughing as we go. And laughing as well as they go, ho, 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 which is coming up as the H is 1-to-1 and then O. So 01-10-1-10-1-10, which is I-10, or 01-101-101, which is LOL, or a place setting, -10, which is the Wheel of Fortune. The Justice of Synchronicities without blocks, and the 40 of the Page of Cups and Ia show your support to the fairies and flowers and little birds, chickadees. Perhaps blueberries and raspberries, competing for space, but having a good time playing with it after haircuts and delicate ones with attention of a more delicate touch. The 25 of the Knight of Wands, to keep your dreams alive. Blue baby blows a kiss from yonder way, from between the dippers. You're on the right path. All right, so here's where this energy was coming up from, between the dippers towards Orion. A Polaris square, or polar opposites, Cancer and Capricorn, the name of the day, the disciplinarians, aligning with choices and dreams, heaven on earth, Terra, will have a gay old time. So Gaia is coming up as a gay old time. And aligning earth and Terra will have a gay old time as Fred and Wilma and Pebbles meet George Jetson, his boy Elroy, at the Little Dipper School with daughter Judy, Orbit High School, HS or higher self, Jane his wife, just Jane, and Change in the shopping center that wasn't marked and it was just a bag in Baghdad, or Spacely Spare Sprockets, which is where he worked. Cosmo is the owner of where he worked, George Jetson. As the Page of Cups and Knight of Wands, or Pebbles and Elroy, as Wilma and Pebbles take on a more modern look. But you know Fred, who has trouble with rumbling and flinting stone, has trouble with rumble and finding shoes to fit him. I know I have Flintstone feet. As Judy reaches out, just a minute, sweetheart. I know you want to see the cat or something. You have to wait a minute, okay? I'm almost done. Almost done. As Judy reaches out to retrieve Pebbles when her mom gets busy to play with her hair and give her the flowers and the birds, just fascinated with this lush heaven on earth. At 9:55, which is the Hermit and the Truth. At 30, the next first card is the 36 of Atlas, the 10 of Wands Atlas Intuition, with Nature's thinking cap on, in Sink or Swim with Esther Will I Am, and Map of Intent, or is she hanging out with Will Robinson now, on a quest by the light of the Jupiter moon, orange Ganymede, as her skull radiates out to the weight of the world. Hercules or Hercules, her harvest, he arc you less, or les, branding you Sophia, wise Ea. You see, the A at the end is a Roman thing, a rocket in your pocket, and Sophie's choice, she's Sophie, at 6.18. What happened on Tuesday the 18th? Well, I told you about the desert. I posted a video where the flame went out. When I said into the desert at 57:07, which is the 3 of Swords in the Chariot, referencing 33:44 degrees, boy with no name that ended up a shopping center in the desert. Oh, Wilma must be there. The desert may feel more familiar than up in the air space, where Iraq and the no-fly zone, Iraqi place of the elephant's head, and I've seen the eagle's talon massage the elephant's head. The only way the giant eagle could express their love to the elephant, now seeing they're trapped underground. The ark sucked all the water out of the land. Will's ma, oh Wilma's, I guess she took in Will Robinson and his AI friend when their ship landed in a no-fly zone. Now this should be interesting. 2 cartoons, a boy and a robot, a real live boy and bot to boot at 10:14, the wheel and the angel. So on the 18th, I did a read, dealt at 6:51:52, which I'm giving you today, the Lovers, King of Swords and Queen of Swords, and then clarified again at the same time, 6:51 to 52 a.m., when I hadn't slept all night, as rainbows highlighted my skydive pick. On the 18th, though, when I woke at 9:13, up at 10:19, I reached out to do my errands. I had to deal with T-Mobile and the plumber. When the moon was getting full and the sun at 10:19 now, where I'm writing, which is the wheel again and the sun is way too hot, hot, hot. So I did a read, Adam at Om and Egypt, and where her Liberty L rings far and wide, and Ellis in the green room cycling island in waves with a crystal skull, a hard head or carpenter's helmet, or eagles, perhaps. Don't tell the apple. But how do Lib and L get to Sphinx? Well, X marks the spot in Treasure Hunt with Atlantis Island hopping until they're scared straight, through Bermuda Triangle and Shelf of No Return, straight into GI Brawl, Tar, or Gibraltar, for Throne of Rock across from E, who got gypped on whether Israel or not, trunked by Iraq, between a rock and a hard place, and what to do when dealing with 3 rocks, third rock from the sun, where we've only just begun. As the buck stops here before going on to Peanuts, and Olympians, and Moongate 620 to 621, in the courtship of Eddie's father, or the Godfather. So yesterday I posted What's Up with Marco Polo and Karmic Pharmic, the 2 videos I posted, the short ones, and the theory or story or glory of Ori, O-R-Y, or the Y in the road, and regarding T, Top Dog and Sophie, and little t leaping into human at 0 point, with T and Y being thank you or gratitude, and the T also equals the 0 with the dot in the middle, the singularity from the top down. And Y is the steering wheel, the sun singularity and driving wheel, and having to decide where to turn. And then later, 620, the eagle landed, where E gullible and got gypped with big triangle and little triangle and double moongate into L-dom, 5500 OM instead of AM. Over the meridian, entered 55, so then I was guided to search 55 degrees meridian, and the first entry was 55 adult apartments in Exton, PA, and it was called the Meridian at Eagle View. So 55 degrees west is Newfoundland and Labrador, Brazil, Argentina, and Elephant Island, claimed by Argentina, Chile, and the UK, of course. And Joinville Island came up there too, and the L Dome, not Kingdom, of 55 degrees east is through Russia with love, the islands through Stans and Iran, and the island of Abu, the United Arab Emirates, the Saudi Arabia, Oman, and Indian Ocean, just west of Reunion Island, which is France. And that was interesting because after I did this, and I watched Mateus, he talked about the significance of not Reunion, but Amsterdam Island, which is right there near Reunion Island. And its significance right in the middle, that Amsterdam Island is equal distance from India, from the Antarctic, and I'm blanking out on the third, but it'll come up in my notes here in a second. But he was comparing, he was there instead of here for the eclipse, to be on the dark side of the eclipse, as the eclipse eclipsed over Texas, was the same energy of going from India to this island, where basically the United States is the Indian Ocean, with just this little island of birds in the middle. That's how he described it. But it was coming up again here, before I'd even watched him say that. So the Reunion Island was France, and then before the Australian Antarctic, which sounded like an airline here. And then Elvis versus Martin Luther came up as January 8th and January 15th. Which is both Capricorn energy. And the dome, the king's dome, not the king's dome. L's dome. So it's coming up as Elvis. Oh, that's so funny. The L dome, Elvis, and the King dome is Martin Luther King. We're talking about Elvis's dome, not Martin Luther's. But January 8th and January 15th coming up, both Capricorns. And now at 11 a.m. is the right track. Was between the dippers through to Orion, a square they were trying to show me, between the bears and the dogs and Beetlejuice times 3. Don't make me get the belt out, says Orion, with 3 notches now. A serious square that includes the dippers and downward dog, and a right angle with Great Bear, the Big Dipper, the wagon, and Charles's wain, or the plow, But Little Bear has Polaris. So again, UMA comes up here again because the Big Bear is abbreviated UMA, Ursa Major. And there was a degree, the declination came up as 55.38, which was significant because we were just researching 55 degrees, and 38 is the Queen of Cups, and 55 is the truth, the Ace of Swords. So then Kochab, the orange giant, which is the Beta star, and the Gamma Ursa Minor stars are guardians of the pole star Polaris. The planet orbits 4 of the stars, and there's a neutron star there too, Calvera, the hottest white dwarf yet discovered. The wagon of heaven, goddess Damkina, among the stars of Enlil in the northern sky. Polaris was several degrees away from the pole. It wasn't exact, but we're actually closer to the pole now. Now we're within 1 degree, according to what they wrote there. And it's all just star stuff from Wikipedia. So again, then I brought up the heads of Egypt and Israel butting heads, and then now we're going into this new crowning, again, stemming from the center of the earth, right, the womb of the earth, crowning with a new crown, South America, Andes, with this big head of the snake facing off with northwest Africa. Now, Madagascar was the other, India, Madagascar, and then Antarctica, all equal distance. I think that was the 3. So the greater dog and the lesser dog, following Orion the hunter, the Sirius dog star. In Mesopotamia, Sirius was Kak, K-A-K, .si.sa2, by the Babylonians, Babel, the bow and Sirius arrow that was actually aimed at Orion. The bow Ishtar, Enlil's daughter, and arrow Nintura were linked to Marduk deity who had slain Tiamat. And then Canis Minor with Procyon evolved to orange giant. In Mesopotamia, Procyon and Gomesa were mash, monster mash automatically comes up there, M-A-S-H and then T-A-B like tab.ba, or they were called twins. Okay, so this is Canis Major, Canis Minor, the little dog, the pup, is the twins in 3 stars, with 3 stars each tablet, around 1100 BC. The twin deities Lulal and Latarak, which is kind of like latitude and longitude, opposite from Popsukal and true, it sounds like popsicle, and the true shepherd of heaven is Babylon. Canis Minor is also given the name Darlugal and Dapamusen, Musen, the star which stands behind it, or referencing Orion. And also, they're discussing all the different perspectives on what these constellations used to be, and one was seen as the fox or the fox tail. And I see, when I look at the map, the Arabian Sea to the Red Sea and the Persian Gulf, they look like a forklift as the ocean, or a man at their desk leaning on his elbows, okay, over all these areas, Iraq, Iran, etc. So then Iran came up under the 55-degree longitude. And so I was looking at the locations that were exact, and the closest I was coming was Rabat-e Pasht-e Badam, which was 30 degrees even, 0053 north, and then 55 degrees, 3346 east. The exact point, again, is probably in desert, just like in Iraq. And Pashti Badam And Hajjabad-e Zarin also came up as close, but really the exact 3355 is in the desert. I noticed that Iran looks like a snail or turtle, and Saudi Arabia looks like a pig, with Yemen and Oman coming up as pigs chow. Egypt was a right angle, the L that keeps coming up, and Kenya looks like a dog, along with Somalia. Then Jerusalem came up at 1221, and there was a picture of Old City from the Mount of Olives with Al-Aqsa and the Dome of the Rock on the Temple Mount. And then just referencing the fact that Jerusalem had been captured and recaptured 44 times. And the 7 major constellations are Ursa, Orion, Canis, Cassiopeia, Crux, which is the Southern Cross, Little, and Big Dippers, the Polaris, Betelgeuse, and Sirius. And I was trying to figure out this square that they were talking about, but ultimately I just got to the little triangle inside the big triangle, and that the bottom of the pyramid is a square. But when you put to the long triangle of like Polaris was coming up like the shape of Israel, you know, looks like a long triangle. And again, coming to the water, facing Egypt, at the point at the bottom of Israel, not Jerusalem, but the point was coming up as significant. In the middle between Egypt and Cyprus. So again, the 33 degrees by 33 degrees and 30 by 30 degrees. The 33 by 33 is in the water between Cyprus and Egypt. The 30 by 30 degrees is in Egypt for sure. And I was just doing a lot of figuring out of where certain things were. The Rock of Gibraltar is 36 degrees 0728 by 5 degrees 2035. So there's that 36 degrees is Atlas, the weight of the world. And 5 is the Hierophant. 520 with judgment. So Atlas with the 728 is the chariot and the twin flame energy. And then the 5 of the Hierophant, the Hierophant's judgment of the wounded warrior. That's kind of interesting too. So Atlas is the 10 of Wands fool who leaps on the 21 with fresh approach where land meets sea, the coastal road all around Gibraltar Street. Waterway by Atlas Mountains, Morocco, Algeria, and Gibraltar. The 27 of the mountain, maintaining that childlike spirit. The Ace of Wands and the 30 of the adventure overlooking Gibraltar Strait, literally. Bridging Europe and Africa at the bottleneck to Atlantis seas, by the water, by the energy, by reaching, by a thread, by I'm not sure what I wrote there, by roadizing, by a new approach. The Atlas Fool's journey around the world, where Atlas is the drop-off point, swinging in the woods, and algae bridging to the conch shell echoing over the Spanish mountains, in sink or swim with the olive trees and algae. A reunion adventure of Madagascar, which is mad, and a gas car, right? Mad is also Ma de of the gas car, off the coast of Mozambique, which runs directly under the 3355 degree of Iran. The man with a heart, 45 and then 36. The second chakra, Archangel Ariel, and 7 of community, and 17 action. The man grieving Atlas and the sacral chakra. The community chariot, or vehicle of community, or just girls, 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 or girls driving with stallions out there. Stars and studs, or public function, or taking action to get over self with map of intent 717, taking action or off to the races for dreams to come true, with the 10 of Cups, angel of strength and family emotional satisfaction, with Cancer, Aquarius, Leo, and perhaps Sagittarius there. The next first card is the 51 of the King of Swords, healer, which came up multiple times, healer of the ages, and 15, which is the reflection of 51, the lady with a flower showing appreciation, but she doesn't look very nice. Or the King of Swords with angel of strength on one side, and the devil's advocate or Capricorn with appreciation on the other. The 4 of happy family, or the Emperor working on creating this bridge, perhaps looking for an Empress, as the 24, Queen of Wands, is judgmental. And Queen of Wands here, she may be envious too, this Queen of Wands, may have left the building, or a window got knocked out. Someone might have snuck out the window, or window knocked out by dark mother, or witchy wife, or ex possibly in a padded cell, or a padded cell for someone here. A wake-up call to dark and light, or father gets the kids, or mother and mother-in-law, or mother-in-law moves out here. At 303, the underlying energy of 31, in the hand, the 5 of Wands group energy, your partner. As the 11 is justice and alignment in the deep quiet of meditation and stillness, and the 5, the closing of the door to complete and be free. A divorce or breaking contract could be complete here, as the 29, 3 of Wands, Horn Cactus, is resourceful with gifts, and the 64 of Woodwives adapt to working around them in bliss and ending the pain. As the whale song resonates, 61, 7 of Swords, taking a risk at sonic song or arcing through portals May and June, or these in their those in their 50s and 60s, or born 50, 51, 61, or 64. The first next card is the 37 of the King of Cups and the Magician's Sword. With confidence in your magic on the journey of jeweled web and connectivity, of metalwork and many lights and crowns. The 42 of 1-1, 2 of Cups with the Netcaster, as preparations come to fruition, bridging all sorts of ways. The 17 of the Star and Eye of the Needle, with focused intent and channeled tunnel vision, and dreams that come alive. The 98 degrees of the human sun and 91 central sun, we've only just begun, at 314 and 315, which is the angel and the devil, and pi as well. And 315, 314 actually used to be a Valentine's Day as well. It was like girl's choice. The sun's reflection in every human who wills them, and there brings up that commanding again. The King of Swords is reaching out spontaneously to the 10 of Cups, or 61, emotional fulfillment and risking it all in a message in a bubble. The lion is on the land while the whale is at sea. Shakti sun rays activate Esther Williams' map of intent. And Master of Swords, Master of Heart, or taking on each other's parts. Released in a leap of faith and gratitude on a journey of connection 1-1, and casting a net far and wide, as the Knight of Pentacles swan is feeling whole with a fresh approach to stabilize happy family and or catch themselves a catch. At 322, the Empress and the Fool, her grace extends, her child swings, her bad curl shuts the door, perhaps a little too hardly, as squinty intent and two-eyed needle, the Star King of Cups, or dreams come true with unconditional love, of fire and ice and bridging across any judgment or envy in the 42, 2 of Cups, 1-1 blood dance within, and net dance without. As your dreams come true, it can happen to you if you're young at heart. At 326, which is the Empress and the Page of Wands. Okay. So now just a few more random information that came up. And it's already almost 2.5 hours. It's 2:23, which is the higher self of the King of Wands. And the King of Wands was Where's Waldo, remember? So yesterday, or excuse me, on the 22nd here, we were dealing with 2 kittens in the yard. I don't know whose kittens they were, probably our neighbors. But they were coming up. One was unafraid. They were so cute. One was unafraid to come up the steps. I put some sunflower seeds out for them. And the one would come up, but the other one wouldn't. They kept hiding, even though the other one was fine. And they kept hiding under my car. And then the words elephant and elegant came up. And what the differences were, right? Because they're very different words, right? Elegant has to do with being elegant and graceful. And the elephant is kind of like, you know, kind of the opposite of that, even though the elephant's considered graceful and elegant. They're very big and heavy, right? So in breaking down elephant and elegant, because they're exactly the same except for the G and the PH in the middle. And ant is very significant because it means to cut. And Matthias also brought up science, which meant to cut. And then my name, Cope, came up to cut. So it was interesting how many words came up meaning to cut. So ant is also the priest in Egyptian, A-N-T. So they're both Eli and ant, but one is PH and one is G in the middle. So the elephant is homeland security, big foreigner or gift who pledges or deposits. The elephant is Sleepy Hollow, or L gesture, like the loser gesture, and heavy breathing. Elephant is the big wooden sign or gesture of longing and palpitation. Rain and oil in the valley, or wing-ding, or dingle, or wing it, and fine wood hinge all came up under elephant. Elegant came up as gloves with wings, and I was getting Michael Jackson there too. Scottish Rite 33, or owl on hand. Sports team or boxing gloves. A big wooden sign of glove or goose, or gift of 100. Sleepy goose, realm of gloves, or goosing you. So elephant and elegant with the same except the PH, which is also the F sound, which is digamma and twin flame energy, versus the G in the middle, which of course is God, but also the little t, arcing or leaping to the other side in the middle. So it's literally twin flames, or the pair of humans versus God. But not human God was coming up there. Elegant, little t reaching and leaping, elephant, PH balanced within themselves, between longing and belonging. So then leg, the abbreviation of elephant is the letter L, and then E, and then G. So L-E Gant is L-E-G ant, and then L-E-F ant also came up. So lefan was coming up to allow, permit, or believe T, as in the elegant. But elephant was coming up, that's where the levant came up, that word, which means to sail eastward, abscond or disappear to avoid debt. Rising of an animal like cattle, because they're done resting. To raise, rising, raising the east and the orient. And then lever, to raise, lift, stand up, to clear, get up in the morning, to knock down, again. Ease and comfort, liver, which is coming up as one who lives, and rather, living being, to lift, bread, loaf, to relieve, and lighten and mitigate. And again, roof and I take, as the elephant, as opposed to elegant, which is to allow, permit, and just believe T, or top dog. So L-E-G-A-N-T, or legant, is goose that lay the golden egg, sends on the mission, and tells the story of a legend, whereas the lefant of the elephant is left T, or lefty, or left top dog tree, to raise, lighten, to believe T, allow and permit T, or to ease, comfort, and mitigate and relieve, stand up to and knock down, to sail eastward and disappear to the east or the orient, the rising sun, or that which orients you, which came up to something that Matthias was talking about in his thing too. It was so cool the way this was all coming up. Again, moving eastward to disappear to the east in order to orient themselves, right, to the sunrise, getting up in the morning to live. Lefant is the longing, the hollow depression, the heavy breathing, the pawn. And then the lambda temple of L and the R of right angle, kinetic energy, the temple and the kinetic energy. 1 equal and congruent to the 100 gander. And that address came up for Mankato, Minnesota, and Palm Beach, Florida, and Lexington, South Carolina. The God sense versus the twin flame digamma sense. The elegant of the G ant is the little t leaping to one big T, or to cut off and away. God versus little t leap, the elk or moose, priest or oath, guess or sense, one or between, where then the F of elephant comes up as digamma twin flame, the same, the elk or moose, priest or oath, etc. The only difference is the big T and the little t versus the twins on the same level. The big T and the little t bridging elegant versus the twins on the same level bridging as the elephant. And this, after that, is when I watched Matthias, which I wrote some notes about that. And he was talking about Hathor, which represents the house and the light, he said. Hat as the house, and then Hor as the light. And the cow and the mother holding the weight of the world to express the spark within, talking about the compression on the body towards the root, which is where the birthing begins. But you can watch that if you want. So her channel is Vyalana. That's her name. And you can see that she was doing a treatment on him with her sound healing. He was talking about, yes. And he talks about what he does now as acupuncture of the planet. And when you meditate, that all pressure goes to the anus for release. Again, I kept talking about that, and that's the first thing that's formed. Also, they talked about Delphi and Pholos, which then came up in words that I was dealing with as well. And again, the net kept coming up. And remember I showed you how the net or grid becomes that 986, the binding of the pages. And apophyllite card, the stone came up, apophyllite, which came up as the fall. When she said Polos and Delphi, it was coming up. And apophyllite is like a pop of light. And again, this is my Crystal Angels read that I did on Instagram. And again, the net regarding a pop of light, the light net, the apple in the house, which they also just had used as examples, and that which catches or puts all puzzle pieces together. As we had a storm here today, and how much the grass needs the rain, and the crystal skull that came up literally yesterday, and Vogel crystals as well, to put a plant in crystal skull. And he talked about an empty jar too, a karoki, where an empty jar was like the worst thing you could have because there was no water in it for sound frequency. But again, watch his video. So let's see here. Yeah, so this is after that, and he talked about the Himalayas being the crown, and then I saw that thing about the Andes being the crown, came up after that. The one on it is medium.com, he was talking about the circular or annular kundalini of the divine feminine, or the Shakti energy. The snake coiled as the center of the planet projects outward to a point every 13,000 years, like the crown of the Himalaya in India in 2012 became the crown of the Andes of Chile and Peru. And I was getting this Amazonian shamanism, and again, this rise of use of ayahuasca and stuff like that. He was talking about this stuff. And the 100th monkey effect of when just 10% of the people know, then the collective will know. And we're going to from 3D religion moving to 4 to 5D paganism and hyper growth. Again, that was medium.com. Yeah, so now the top of Northwest Africa looks like a scowling chief, literally, like a shaman chief, scowling at South America, at the snake's head coming out of there, defending Turkish position. But this head would be huge and just starting to reveal itself. And were the Atlas Mountains actually the first crowning event, birthing from the center of the earth? And again, Matthias also in that episode had talked about he's now seeing himself as I am time, which then inspired my little time Instagram that I created, which was this here. So if you didn't see it on Instagram, whoop. So let's see, was there anything else now? So yesterday, or excuse me, on the 23rd, I hadn't slept all night. That was one of the nights I hadn't slept. But then I heard a tap on my bedroom window, like to wake me up in the morning. I'm like, what was that? And I didn't think anything of it, but then it tapped again. So I got up to look, of course, and it was the blue jay. He looked really guilty as he flew away as soon as I peeked out the window. And I did it very carefully. And I was reviewing some very old notes where Yuma came up again, and the numbers 38, 44, and 37. So 37, 38 are the King and Queen of Cups. And then 44 is that Hercules energy and the Four of Cups. And when I looked them up in Gematria, it was interesting because 38 came up as Bible, Alice, and Eagle. And Lice had come up. And Alice had come up already. And Eagle had been constantly coming up. And it came up as Bible, Alice, and Eagle as B.I. Page Turner, the librarian of the Fox, Wolf, and Blue. Adam, and it was coming up as Adam Lice, but like lies. Adam lies, as a certain accent. And Eve is then next, sharing. Or on Adam's farm, a delight, lo and behold. And the 44 was coming up as the child in the field of Adalia, child and field. And then 37 came up as glee, lice, and E-G-L-E, again, eagle, as the same as 38 almost, only a little bit different. As 4 letters as opposed to 38 with 5 letters. See if I can read. I wrote really small to fit this in. Bible says Alice wonders and doesn't live here anymore. And the eagle is landed, the library of wonder, and E is glee. The ID is all Ea, the HP ardor or fire in the field of twin flame repaying because they've matured or it has come due. So that was really interesting. And then the Bible came up in 37 as A-B-I-L-E, a bile. They reflected each other almost exactly. And then again, Yuma and Umas were coming up here. And, oh, this was really cool, too. I noticed that, you know how Lionsgate this year is 888? Well, that's literally where I am right now since I met my twin. It's 8 years, 8 months, 8 days was in March 9th, and actually March 10th, which was the day I came back from Costa Rica. And then other significant days were coming up quarterly. It was really interesting the way they were coming up quarterly. And then 3 months, 14 days was coming up, which is pi, of course. So all these interesting connections were coming up. Right, they were quarterly. Like I told you, the one was March, 8 years, 8 months, 8 days. And the next significant event, actually when my energy activated, ends up on 6/6/24, which was just the significant new moon. And then the next significant event I wrote down came up as my birthday, 9/18/24. And then the next significant event came up as ending on 12/20/24, which is right the day before the solstice. So some very interesting energies. You might want to check that out yourself, like how many years it's been or months, or how that may be significant to you. And again, yeah, my right ankle was yesterday, and it was at 12:35 p.m. when I got that really piercing pain. So then what came up between yesterday and today was a lot about, and it's 2:39 now, the Tigris and the Euphrates again, and how I went through the whole rivers to see where they actually go. And they all, they both end up in Turkey and don't go beyond that, but they go a lot around Turkey, like it weaves around, Tigris weaves around Batman, and Euphrates goes pretty central and northeast of Turkey. It was kind of interesting. And then Göbekli Tepe came up. I woke up that morning on the 24th with Tepe, but I couldn't remember Göbekli. So I didn't realize what Göbekli until later that day as I went on this journey through the rivers. And Ada Tepe also came up along the Euphrates to Atma. And then there's Lice came up, which is just north of Batman, Lice, literally. So that was interesting too. So I was definitely going to the right place. And that Göbekli is supposed to be, it means Potbelly Hill or Wish Hill, and it's from 9500 to 8000 BCE, the pre-pottery Neolithic. And you can look at that if you'd like to. I also noticed where Canada and Russia meets is Tin City, along with Wales, York, and Diomede Island. So there's something significant about that as well. And again, researching your last name and how that affects you. Matthias was also talking about that, like son of, right? You're bound to something. So research your name, like I do. I break that down for you guys all the time too. And if you want me to do that kind of reading, I can do that for you as well. I'd have to figure out how much I would charge for that. But if that's something you're interested in, let me know. If you wanted to send me like your full name, and I'll do my thing with it, and I'll break it down every which way to give you my message from it. So let me know if that might be something you'd be interested in. So yeah, and then the cap on top of the pyramid and the Ben was coming up again because my maiden name Cope means canopy, which is the same as the Tepe, and the top, the Ben. It means the same thing. And but the original Ben is supposed to be where the primordial waters came out of, like when there was nothing but darkness and water, that this came out and created everything. The word was thought to, the Ben word was thought to be from Egyptian Weben, which means to rise. And again, that reference of going east in order to get oriented. And Matthias says something about that too, but in a different way. It was exactly the same thing though. So it's just so cool how many synchronicities or matching information was coming up. Yeah, just more about Ben and Ben. But then when I was researching the word Ben is twins, right? It's two Bens, brother and sister. And then B apostrophe N, like being and being. Two with cushy jobs, two trees under one roof. Well, more to come. Two mountains or hills, birthmarks. Two perspectives, remembrance of high L's. To cover and wrap around, double undercover, double down, double dam, double fence, double rad horse. And two beans, or two peas in a pod. 2 feet, 2 legs, or two to come, or to come, or come is co-me, or com-e, or to come is taco-me, which taco is to touch, feel, press, play, beat, ring, award, or sound, become, realize, perceive, or kick out, burrow, den, stump, and hole, tree trunk, seat, again back to the root of the tree. And also then Ben means Tommy, it's touch me, feel me. So again, the canopy of the the crowning pyramid on top of the other pyramid. So they talk about how they built the pyramids, one pyramid capping the other. And then of course, when you draw that, it becomes like a Christmas tree with the gold cap on top, or the angel. The Christmas tree with the gold on top, or a couple on tiered wedding cake. And that's pretty much of my messages. But then I watched The Worst Roommate Ever on Netflix last night. It was very interesting. I watched 2 episodes, and the second one, the guy literally graduated with my brother. So that was kind of creepy. And yeah. And where he did the murder was literally like 2 blocks from where I grew up. That was kind of creepy. So anyway, some weird, really dark energies may be coming up to clear, like that kind of stuff. You know, the people who squat in your place and you can't get rid of them. So again, use your discernment. Love yourself first. And we're already at 2:45, so I'm just going to do a quick card for you guys. Messages of love, oracle cards. Don't forget the Chariot and personal growth. And in this read, the Chariot here was upright. So there's some powerful energy there. All right, guys, for the best and highest good of all those concerned. There's 2 cards. All right, we have interference and external parties intruding on this relationship, which came up throughout most of the read. And then unplug. Working less will help strengthen your relationship. And integrity. Does the situation align with your values and morals? Remember to use your discernment. You know, because that person who's interfering could try to come into your life somehow and trick you. Protected. You are safe and divinely guided. And the attraction you feel is mutual. The bottom of the deck is different pages. You and this person don't share the same vision, and friendship. This friendship's leading to more. But the vision may not be the same at the moment. But again, there could be somebody working to block the 2 of you, which may come out, but you need to use your discernment. Make sure, again, be open, but if something feels wrong, trust your intuition. Very important here. Okay? So remember, if you like the video, to like, share, and subscribe. That would be helpful to me. I appreciate you being here. And remember, your water, your rest, your joy, your nature, and rise and be loved. And it's 3:39 on the clock, the Empress and the Knight of Cups. I'll see you next time, guys.